Hey everyone, I'm Scott McNeil, and I'm a voice actor. I was Dinobot, Rattrap, Waspinator, and Silverbolt on Beast Wars, and a bunch of other stuff, anywhere from Grumpy Bear to Wolverine. Would you just get on with it for booting up cold?
I couldn't agree more, Mammal. You are watching In Conversation with Amber Jones. Waspinator would have done it better.
Hello, everybody. Oh, welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. I'm your host, Amber Jones, and today we're going to have a doozy of a time. My guest today is probably one of the coolest human beings ever, one of the craziest human beings ever, just like me. You may know him as the voice of Rattrap, Dinobot, Waspinator, and Silverbolt in Transformers Beast Wars, and also in Beast Machines. Aside from Dinobot, he didn't appear, so yeah. We are going to talk about Code of Hero, trust me. Other characters include Jetfire in Transformers Armada and Energon. Oh, nearly said Cybertron then. Oh, we're going to talk about that as well. The recasting of Jetfire. Snarl in Transformers Cybertron. Okay, this is going to be a bit long. This guy's resume is a bit long, so just bear with me. Hermie, Yukon Cornelius, and Comet in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys. Ruby in Barbie Fairytopia. Grumpy Bear from multiple Care Bears films and Adventures in Care-a-Lot. Baby Foghorn Leghorn in Baby Looney Tunes. Dak in DinoBabies, that's a deep cut for you. Freefall and others in Deke's version of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Wolverine in X-Men Evolution. Cal Casey and Genghis Khan in Hurricanes. Mr. White in Johnny Test. Ace in Krypto the Superdog. Flam for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Zorran, Zack, Zug, Bluenose, Boomer, and the Fultan Ferry in Salty's Lighthouse. Butthead in The New Adventures of He-Man. Dr. Wily and Mega Man. Fuzzy Lumpkins in Powerpuff Girls Z. Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z. And there's another Z show for you. And so many other projects, including Bucky O'Hare, Dog City, Dragon Tales, Littlest Pet Shop, Mega Man, Sitting Ducks, The Cramp Twins, League of Super Evil, Reboot, Lego Ninjago, He-Man 2002. Whew. This is the man who wears a full-size Beast Wars Megatron costume in an interview, and he likes his spray cheese as well. Trust me, I've seen the panel. Let's go. My guest is the legendary, you guessed it, Scott McNeil. Hi, Scott.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? I've got cheese in my
Excellent.
hand.
What are you eating?
Spray cheese.
Oh, God. I feel your pain.
I saw the panel. I saw the panel you did at BotCon. I was like, okay, I like this guy. Oh
That
my
man
goodness.
will eat anything. Anything at all.
It tastes nice though. Every time I go to the States, I always get myself a can of spray cheese. It's really nice.
It's surprising.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
became a real thing in Florida for me. Like, I would end up leaving 60 cans of spray cheese in the hotel room when I left, which means the cleaning staff were probably going, "There's something very wrong with this man that checked out of here. I don't know what's going on. There's an awful lot of spray cheese."
Oh my god, it's so good though. But Scott, honestly, I am so honored to be talking to you right now. You are probably one of the greatest people out of Vancouver, voiceover wise. You've done so much. You're like practically everybody in Beast Wars, and just I am still gobsmacked that I have had this opportunity to speak to you. So I've got to ask, how are you doing today?
I am doing spectacularly. We are sharing concurrent weather right now,
Oh,
which
okay.
means it's balmy and warm and delightful where we are. For your American viewers, oh, it's freezing. For the rest of us, it's a catastrophic weather event and we're suffering in a heat wave. It must be, my God, it must be 73 degrees out there.
I love the collection behind you, and that's the first thing I noticed when you logged on. Just all the memorabilia behind you. Like, as someone who collects all memorabilia and like lounge flies and pop figures and stuff, I admire it. Tell me a little bit about this stuff behind you.
I have a very disturbing collection of little plastic me's in my house. And this is just the stuff in my den, my office, and the rest. And most, 90% of which was been presented to me Interesting. The context of the same word.
Mm,
Etymologically speaking, it becomes fascinating.
mm.
Those are all just mostly are all little plastic me's. The rest is just my own inner geekdom collecting other stuff.
Fair
Like I
enough.
have a whole bunch of animation cells in here, most of which are from Pinky in the Brain.
You're a kid. Oh, I forgot you're a Western animation fan. Right, I've got to show you. I've got to show you. I've got to show you some of my cells. As you can see here, I have
Oh,
in
wow.
order Bullwinkle Moose, McDonald Land, Jerry
Hey,
Magoff.
Ricky, pull a rabbi out of my head.
That's the one. Ariel Monsters, the G1 Transformers. Another, which way am I going? Ariel Monsters, the Quisp, Quake commercials. A lot of these are J Ward cells. Dudley Do Right is up here, and
Don't worry now, I'll save you.
and the other one underneath him is actually a cell from an unreleased pilot that Jay Ward did called Hawkeye. It obviously was made, but it was pitched as a TV show in the early 80s. It never was picked up, but every time I go out to LA, I pop into a little place called Van Eaton Galleries, and they sell animation cells, and some of them have come from there. Oh, hello. Oh my goodness.
Bubba
Oh,
Bob Brain.
wow. Oh my goodness. I'm so jealous.
Oh,
There's a
wait, it gets better. Over
and also
here, and the
Maurice
other
LaMarche, if I'm
side
looking.
is my
Oh,
Johnny Quest.
Johnny
Oh,
Quest.
yeah, that is Johnny Quest.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness. I'm
And the
sweating
rest
so
are
much.
all boring, weird stuff from shows I've done.
It's quite they're quite cool though. So there is one Beast Wars cast member who I have hit it off with so much over the past few years, and that is David Kay.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? Let's talk about David Kay for a bit. You first met him on G.I. Joe, right?
I was going to tell you, so you said the first time you met David Kay. I'll tell you the first time I met David Kay.
Okay.
We were doing G.I. Joe.
I knew it. I
Now,
knew it.
and so there was this character that came in, General Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
General Hawk. And you think, well, I don't know who's coming in to play this role, but it's going to be this guy that's going to sound like General Hawk. So this new kid walks in, David Kay, and he's tall and skinny and like young, very young. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, okay. Here's this guy. He seems pretty nice. He gets up to the microphone, and then the David Kay happens, which is the thing that happens when David Kay approaches a microphone. The microphone just reaches into his soul and pulls out this basso profundo, amazing, sonorous. And we were like, where the did that come from? It was just like, how come he sounds so good? And he was
Honestly,
then. He was a little scrawny, kind of skinny kid. He's beefed out a little since. But yeah, I was just like, I was going, that is a gift of a voice. Dark. That is the voice that we all aspire to.
Scott, I want to talk
Yes.
to you now about your beginnings, humble beginnings in the voiceover industry. Your first role, I believe, was the He-Man cartoon, The New Adventures of He-Man, I
You are
believe.
correct.
How did you get started as a voiceover artist?
Due to an accident at birth, a genetic swap around, and possibly being dropped on my head a lot.
Okay.
That is a fancy way of saying I've done voices since as long as I've been talking. A quote from my theater school days when I was a young man in theater school. They said, no one's ever going to pay to hear those silly little voices of yours. I actually got kicked because they were like, do you ever talk normal? And was like, well, sometimes. It's difficult. I've been goofing around with voices my entire life. I had no idea that this was something that you could do. I mean, it was a dream. Like because I grew up idolizing like Mel Blanc and Paul Frees, which that's a whole nother story. But you know, the great voices of that era and cartoons of that era. And the concept of being able to do that was way out of my realm. So I was going to be an actor, a serious actor. I studied my classicals, my Shakespeare, my Moliere.
Mm-hmm.
But and I did. I got in trouble. It was like, you got to lay off just like, this is North America, man. Like, let's do this. It's all in the eyes. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, but I did a radio play for a little co-op radio station in Vancouver
Mm-hmm.
that a friend of mine had written, and I played like 15 different characters in it, and I was just like, this is so much fun. So I phoned my agent and I went, look, is there anything in like, like radio, something as a voice gig? And so then I got a call a little while later. I had an audition. It was, people have probably heard this story before. They were looking for a distinctly Jim Burns type gravelly voice for something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh my God, I am so excited. And I go in and and I'm gargling gasoline the night before and chain smoking entire logs. And I'm sitting in the waiting room and the door opens up and they go, you, whoever you are next. And Jim Burns himself walked out. And I was like, oh, crud. Neither of us got the gig. But
Oh no.
I don't remember what it was for, but it's just like, okay, so this is a thing. And then there was no cartoon industry in Vancouver at the time. And then it started. And so the very first audition I had ever had was for a show called Kissy Fur. And the director of that, who shall remain nameless, was a raging psychopath. And I left that audition like just broken, going, I will never do this again. Because that was not fun. And then there was another show came up, I think it was Captain Nintendo.
Yes, Captain N,
And
the Game
I
Master.
passed on that one because I just went, no, I don't want to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
And then New Adventures of He-Man came up, and it was like, oh, okay, fine. I went in, and then I booked it, and it was 65 episodes and 4 characters, and the world just became a marvelous, sparkly place at that point. I mean, that first audition for that, I got to go into the studio and I'm going, so this line here, this is what you would like me to say? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay. So the line is by the power of Grayskull, I have the power. And I was like, I'm saying these words. It was a very exciting time in my life.
I'm so happy for you. But
It must
what
have
happened?
been powerful. The entire sound level just dropped.
Yeah, it's giving like my first thought was like Silverbolt like saying that, like holding a sword, like he is like one to do a battle cry.
Yeah.
I would personally say, yeah, 100%. He is. Wow, he is. That is so cool. Who played He-Man in that? Not me having to look it up because I don't trust myself to guess of who it is, and then I'm just completely wrong.
Good friends just a little while ago.
Oh my God.
Fun fact, originally it was me. And then at the first read-throughs, they kind of switched things around and they went, well, okay, well, how about we have Gary do He-Man?
Gary.
Another character called Flipshot, and you play him. And it was like, okay, which worked out way better for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gary was scary and the coolest He-Man ever. And then we did Masters of the Universe later, and that was Cam Clark was He-Man in that one.
Yes. All I just remember was every time me and David came together and we brought up Gary. So I think the last night of TFCon, it was me, Gary, and David. We all went to David's daughter's gelato shop in Toluca Lake, and every time I saw Gary, I would just go, put my finger. That's what me and David just would go, put my finger.
Nobody can trace the origins of that, but in this industry. This is Gary. I'm a big monkey.
It's so funny.
It's like, I don't think Gary talks like that in real life. But that's Gary now.
I've got to quickly ask you, did you ever watch Rockin' Bullwinkle growing up?
I did.
Good.
Wee Willie Winky ran through the town. Hey, Woogie, watch me pull a rabbi out of my hat.
But that trick never works.
That trick never works.
Oh man, I love it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we even got it. We didn't get it in the UK. Well, no, we did. But that was like the 80s, and we I don't think it wasn't as popular in the UK as it was in the US, obviously. But yeah, they're just
Bullwinkle J. Moose, Robert Zimmerman, aka Bob Dylan. Ever seen them photographed together? I present to you and posit to you that they are in fact the same person. Hey, Rookie, how does it feel to be on your own like a rolling stone? It's the same voice. Bullwinkle was Bob Dylan.
Did you hear about the whole Red Skelton rumor? So Red Skelton had a character called Clem Diddlehopper, which sounded exactly like Bullwinkle. Yeah. So, of course, Red Skelton's lawyer sent a letter to Jay Ward saying, you are using the voice of Clem Diddlehopper. If you continue, we will sue you, and stuff like that. And at the time, they had a puppet of Bullwinkle who would introduce the shows on, I think it was NBC, because it was the Bullwinkle show. And the puppet, it's live, by the way. The puppet goes on. He's like, say we got a letter from Red Skeleton. I can't do Bullwinkle to save my life. Say we got a letter from Red Skeleton. He says that my voice is exactly identical to Clem Diddlehopper's. To show you how wrong he is, I am going to do an impression of Clem Diddlehopper. Hi there, this is Clem Diddlehopper speaking. Now you see how different it is.
Bullwinkle was a very sophisticated show.
Sorry.
And I will admit that, as a small child watching Bullwinkle, I didn't get a lot of the stuff that was in it. I thought it was kind of weird, but it was fun. They also had, the shows that they used to show within Rocky and Bullwinkle, like Tom Slick, Super Chicken, they were rocking.
Yes. And George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle, which I got to be in a remake of years later.
You did? Yes, you were in the George of the Jungle remake. Love that.
It was also the first thing I learned to play on drums.
Oh, I didn't know you could play drums.
Still one of the best theme songs ever. That and the Addams Family. No, with the Munsters.
Yeah. Well, right.
Best bass line ever.
This is just me info dropping at this point. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story here. Alan Burns, who served as a producer on Rocky and Bullwinkle, obviously created the Monsters. He offered Bill Scott the role of the Grandpa character in the show.
Really?
Yes, so Bill Scott was originally set to play Grandpa in The Monsters. But doing so, if he did take on that role, he would have to leave J. Ward Productions, and he didn't want to leave. So obviously he gave up the role, and the role went to Al Lewis instead. So
who did a marvelous job.
Fun fact. Yes, he did. That's another fun fact for you.
And there was 2 different Marilyns on the show too.
Yes. Right, who would win in a fight, the Monsters or the Addams Family?
Best theme song ever.
If it had to be between like the characters, if they got into like a fight, who would win, the Monsters or Addams Family?
Addams Family, yep.
Yeah. It's like punching.
That was playground fodder for conversation in my day. Yeah. Okay, so if there was going to be a fight with no weapons, who would win? It's like, I don't know. In the cartoon world, I'm looking over into my DVD collections, and right there I have the Groovy Ghoulies, which was
Groovy Ghoulies.
You remember the Groovy Ghoulies?
Of course I do. I know like the majority of these shows. Yeah.
That was one of my all-time favorite cartoons growing up.
You have to remind me who made it now. Filmation. How did I not think? That was another one.
I've done a lot of work for Filmation back in the day.
Nice, nice. New Adventures of He-Man, was that Filmation or
That might have been. You know what? It might have been. I'm
it
not
could have
100% certain.
been. Now you're gonna make me look. Oh, it's already on my phone. I don't know why I'm looking up on my computer. It was Jetlag Productions and Mattel. Oh, and it was also Saban. Haim Saban also worked on
Yeah.
it.
Yep,
That's
yep, yep, yep,
interesting.
yep.
You also went on to X-Men. You became Wolverine on X-Men Evolution.
That
Coincidence?
was a cool phone
I think
call.
not. Yeah. It
Because
must
that
have
was
been.
one of the outside of He-Man. It was like, because everything I'd done sort of in between was original characters and original shows. But
Mhm.
that one, when you get that phone call, it was like, yeah, you booked that Wolverine gig. What? Sweet. Because it's cool before you even start. Like,
Yes.
I didn't have to do anything. It was like, dude, I'm Wolverine. Sweet.
I love
Although
it.
he's never been played correctly, and I've said this many times.
We're back. Zoom rudely cut us off, but it's okay. I've paid premium, so
Yes, yeah,
Zoom can't
perfect.
stop us.
Yes, hip hop, yes, hip hop, yes, hip hop, yes, hip hop, and yes, hip hop.
And as you can probably tell, I've put on my hair because my hair was just down. It was just
Sweaty,
I hate it. I hate it. So
terribly sweaty.
we got Zoom premium, so we're not going to be cut off again, and I am so excited, right? Because this is probably going to be my favorite part. Beast Wars.
Oh,
Go. Okay, so Beast Wars. Scott, how did you first become?
sorry, I wasn't actually in Beast Wars. I think you might have mixed up with someone else.
Had you heard of Transformers
Okay, I
though
was in Beast
before?
Wars.
This is
We'll
do you
talk about this, and I will take you out the old-fashioned way.
Kelly, you don't like to see it. Try it there, Dino Boob. Oh, I know. Shut up, Rattrap. We're gonna die.
No more fighting, no more fighting. Fighting gives Waspinator a headache in his whole body.
All right, citizens, ease up. I, Silverbolt, will handle this. For I am strong, proud, brave, and, well, smart like a bag of hammers.
I think I'm gonna cry.
Your
Oh my
viewers are
god.
gonna. I've seen him do that 3,000 times. Doesn't he have any original material?
Um, stop. My cheeks hurt from smiling. Oh my goodness. This is one thing I want to ask you. Had you heard of Transformers before you auditioned for Beat? You had. Okay,
I
okay, okay.
knew of Transformers. My
Rattrap.
nephew and my nephew-in-law were both heavily, you can't grow up I was like, of course I knew Transformers. I don't care what the numbers say. I'm freaking Gen X. That was our stuff.
I love it. I
Robots
love
in
it.
disguise. Now, Beast Wars, of course, as you know, was quite a departure.
Yes.
And there was some dissent and dishappiness when we first hit the airways. Because
Yes.
the Gen 1 fans were just like, what the hell is this abomination?
Or as we call them, the G1ers.
Yeah.
The
Until they
G1.
started to watch it and went, wow, the writing on this show is astonishing. And I credit everything about that show to the writing on it. Larry and Bob
Definitely.
Ford. Just like the writing was so good.
Yes. And
And it was the
also,
first show that we worked on, first North American style show,
yeah.
where instead of, saving the world in 22 minutes and then selling some action figures, remember, kids, it's all right if Skeletor throws his enemies into the lava, but never throw your little brothers or sisters into molten lava. Until next time, by that was, and suddenly there was this story. There was this
Yeah.
ongoing story arc that was astonishing.
Yeah. And
And the
like,
animation was groundbreaking.
exactly, that's literally what I was about to say. It was one of the first CGI animated shows made for television.
Yeah,
So
that was, I mean, it was Gavin and Blair, they had done the blockhead video for the Dire Straits Money for Nothing music video. And that was the first time anybody had seen CG anything. And that was those guys. And then they did Reboot, which I was also on. And
yeah,
then we
you
did
were.
Beast Wars, which I was also on. And but they were the ones that, like, everything you see now that is CG, which is everything, including possibly myself and maybe even your ears, I'm not sure. Um it all comes down to them. Those two dudes started it all. So we were like going, we're kind of part of something here. This is different than just like cartoons.
Yeah. What did you say the other show you were on it was aside from Reboot?
That were the mainframe shows.
Yeah, the mainframe, yeah.
What did I do? I did there was War Planets
War Planets, I think that's what you said. It cut
or
off.
Shadow Raiders in Canada because we had these weird, like Beast Wars wasn't called Beast Wars in Canada.
It was called Beasties.
Yes, join Gumgully Gorilla and Ratty and all their chums tonight on Beasties. They didn't even
Beasties.
re-record it. They just cut the the war off of that. We had some funny rules here, yet we could be way more violent than the
Oh,
American.
God knows. God knows. I mean, I don't make the show. But honestly, as I said before we started recording, I had binge watched the entire Beast Wars show before I did TFCon this year. So to watch the whole series, and I literally watched the entire thing, binge watched it every night. I would come onto my computer, I would just type in Beast Wars on YouTube, and I would just watch all of it. And it was just so good. I didn't expect myself to do this. I actually cried at Code of Hero. Or Code of Hero. So I was like, it's so emotional because like you get so used to a character, even if it's not your favorite character, you get so used to a character being on the screen, and when it's just yeah. And Dinobot 2 didn't hit the same at all. So I've got to ask you.
Dinobot 2 was a mistake on my part. If I had known, is the only character I ever played that I have a regret on how I played him. Because when I saw it later, I went like, oh no. You know, the glowing eye, and it was like he should have been way twitchier.
Yeah.
The very first convention I ever did in my life.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I had been doing cartoons for like well into second decade of doing them. But, you know, you go into the studio, you do your job every day, you record and you work on all these amazing shows, and then you go home.
Yeah.
That's it. Take out the garbage. Make dinner. So I go to BotCon in Anaheim in 1999. Very first convention I've ever done in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And you really don't, like, we had no idea that these shows would have impact on people, that people watched them, that people gave it about them. So I'm standing there in this, and I'm just like, my brain is sparkling. I'm like, this is freaking amazing, dude. Look at all these people, and everybody's dressed up. And I'm standing there, and I'm looking over a guy's shoulder, and there's a kid, one guy, and he's drawing a picture of one of the characters. And so I'm standing behind him, and I just went,
Waspinator likes picture.
and he just went, and I'm like, am I on fire? Is there like a spider? I'm, you're Scott. And he lost his freaking mind. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And like, I'd never been recognized for anything in my life. That was mind boggling. And it was just after Code of the Hero had aired. And so I went, oh yeah, the episode where I lost a quarter of my paycheck. Yeah, I remember recording that. People were coming up like in tears, just going, when Dinobot died. And that's the first time I really started to get any comprehension of like this, you know, this strange and wonderful thing that we got to do for a living had some import and it had some impact on people's lives. Like people were so moved by that. And then I watched Code of the Hero because I'd never seen it. I was bawling like a baby. It's like, I don't care if I was in it. That was. Oh, yeah. I used to know the whole speech, but yeah. Wind from your wrist is silent. Dinobot knew he was going to die 5 episodes before he died. I had no idea. I'm just saying, derp, 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 derp. But people's reaction to this, and it kind of swept me right into the whole world of fandom, of being a fan of the show. outside of being in it. This is like, it's the only show I've ever worked on where it was like, oh, Thursday night, gotta go home and watch my show. The rat guy's still funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
it had impact, and it had, and it was eye-opening and mind-boggling to me that this there was some import to the stuff we were doing. And I've had, there's stories I could tell of the, people that have approached me at cons and told me astonishing stories of, survival and loss and stuff, all tied into some of the shows, not just Beast Wars, but some of the other things that are just crushing and humbling and amazing, and really impart a sense of some sort of value to what we do. And it kind of makes you just lay into it a little more seriously.
Yeah.
Change the way I approach cartoons. I still have a ton of fun doing them. But you go like, wow. And you never know, right? You just never know how anything, and this is global, right? The one thing that you do today may completely impact and change the history of the world, or change people's lives in a small way or a huge way.
Yeah.
I have items that have been presented to me, from people that didn't survive, survivors of catastrophic events that went, look, what you did, your character on this show enabled this thing. And it's like, good God, it's just a care. It's like, no, what you brought. Whoa, dude, that was bummerific and heavy, but it's true. It's weird.
It got deep. You turn the light on, it's starting to get darker. There we go. You didn't see me. No, you don't. There we go. So, yes.
That was a lovely dance, by the way.
I was like, I mean, I'm trying, but my arm is in such great pain.
What did you do?
You can't really see it, but like I proper like I like a gash on my arm. So this happened today. I was a bit silly. So basically, I'm gonna have to get my tripod out because the lighting's gone like weird on my face. I'm like that. Don't worry. I bike for a hobby. It's what I do. And I went to this park, and obviously they have ducks at the park. There's nothing to do with the duck. I'm absolutely fine.
You were savaged by a duck.
No, close, but not exactly. So people had obviously bought food. They say bread's bad for ducks, so they say feed them seeds, oats, sweet corn. Someone bought a tin of sweet corn, and they just left it there. I cannot stand people who litter. It pisses me off to the core. So I said, right, I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to take this to the bin. There was no bin round there. The nearest bin near this lake was like literally just a minute walk down the road. I was like, I'm not going to leave my bike here. I don't want to risk it. So I decided to get on my bike and ride with one hand, clutching this empty tin of sweet corn. And there's me just riding on my bike, and there's a car behind me. No, I did not get hit by the car. So I was literally right outside the park, and I don't know what happened. I don't think I was holding on to the thing. I was holding on to a bike. I think I braked. I literally can't remember what happened. I braked, and I can't remember if I went over the handlebars or if I crumpled, but all I remember is that I sort of went over. I landed on the floor, like this part of my body took obviously the brunt force, landed on the floor, bike came down on top of me. And I said to myself, oh shit, I did that in front of someone, didn't I? So these two men got out of the car, fucking ran towards me, and they're like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I am fine. I'm just more embarrassed. But yeah, because that it was worse at the time, but obviously, yeah.
I just had this vision of St. Peter at the pearly gates. And so sweet corn. The demise was caused by sweet corn. I think that's a first. Let me look through the records. Yes. Brussels sprouts by the thousands. Mushy peas. Sweet corn. Yes, it's a first.
I can say now I was not hurt. I was fine. Oh, this is all different settings. I was fine. I was more shaken and embarrassed. I mean, if it wasn't in front of someone, I definitely would have been. I would have been fine.
How was the sweet corn?
There was nothing.
Did the
There was.
sweet corn can survive?
Yes, it
Is
did.
it okay?
As I said, I took the brunt force of it, so I landed on my elbow. Obviously, when I landed on the floor, I still had hold of the tin.
Greater love has no person than to lay down their bodily sanctity for a can of sweet corn.
Scott, I have some fan questions for you now. I have multiple, but obviously some of them are and aren't Beast Wars related. So I was like, I might as well just ask you a few now, a few later, just spread it out. Okay, so I'm gonna start with so Jasper Vandenbrink wants to know which Beast Wars character was the most fun to voice.
You know, there's a billion clever answers to this, but they were all tons of fun. And that whole show, like, I'm so proud of that show just overall. And for me personally, having had a chance to play 4 characters on that one, that were all interacting. I mean, that was the fun for me was, everybody just leave the room and go, oh, Scott's doing one of his scenes with himself. And we would record them usually in one pass of these weird arguments back and forth and craziness. I mean, for sheer fun, Waspinator ended up being, because originally, Waspinator was designed to be one of the evil Predacons.
Yeah.
And then when we were auditioning, I went into audition, and it was like, well, I'm an evil wasp and blah. And Doug Parker, who actually played Pterosaur, who was also the casting director on that show. Well, try doing, that little bubble voice you do? Like,
Eddie, okay. Ooh, I want a present.
He's like, do that. I'm like, yeah, but this guy's like a villain, right? He goes, no, just do that voice. And then make him.
So, I want to put okay, he's an insect. Let's make him a little more evil.
And then, as the writers were in the sessions and realized what a spaz I personally am, they kind of started taking Waspinator down
the same Waspinator no man dragged himself up to see our chamber.
And Waspinator just became Waspinator. Rattrap was fun because Rattrap was Rattrap.
Yeah.
A little bit of an homage to perhaps a certain animated rabbit of the Looney Tunes fame. Dinobot was awesome because Dinobot was the most fully fleshed out character I'd got a chance to play up until that point. Most of them were, cartoon characters in Saturday morning cartoons that are designed to sell some action figures. And Dinobot became very interesting. And oddly enough, Silverbolt, because that was, I guess, season 2, they had 2 new characters come in, Quick Strike and Silverbolt.
Yes.
And I read for both of them, going like, what are the chances? I'm already on the show. I don't know. And I figured if anyone, I was going to get Quick Strike, because that was the one I had tons of fun with, which Colin did an amazing job of.
Yes, Colin.
I would have done. But then they gave me Silverbolt, and I'm like, and they just went, you use your voice. And I'm like, I have no idea what that means. Like, I see your lips moving, I hear the words individually, but what is this in my voice of which you speak? And so we're kind of mucking around with it on the first days, and they went, we love what you did at the audition. And then I was just farting around, and I just went, the word citizen popped into my head. Citizen. And all of a sudden it was like, boom, it clicked, and the writers went, yep, we got him. And I went, yep, I got him. So that's what I would sound like if I was actually, noble, proud, and brave, and a part wolf. There's probably several Silverbolts in the bookshelf behind me somewhere.
Ooh. I didn't, maybe. I don't know. Have you got any black arachnias? Or not?
Those are in my private collection, okay? We don't talk about that one.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask.
For my personal consumption is all I'm saying.
I was going to ask, what do you think of Silverbolt and Black Arachnia essentially as a couple? What do you say happens to them after the show?
Dark poison of my heart. That was very easy when you're standing next to Venus Terzo.
Oh, yeah.
You indulge in a romantic liaison of the mind.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like any good, chemistry romance thing in a show, because we're all, we never know until we get the script, right? It was like,
yeah.
what's going to happen? Ooh. Then it all kind of went strangely sideways during Beast Machines.
Yeah. I've not watched Beast Machines yet. I really
It
that.
looks amazing. The character redesigns, and they'd really vamped up the animation. The characters look astonishing on it, but the writing just didn't have that cohesion, that
Yeah.
3 episode wonderful story arc. Because then the new people, I think, just threw away the basic Bible and the whole premises that Larry and Bob had come up with, and went,
Yeah.
well, we're going to make our own show. We're just going to use these characters. I pretty much had to re-audition, because they were like the same characters in name only, and it never really gelled. It didn't have any kind of. It started to right at the end, but by that point, it was too late.
Yeah.
Sorry, with all due respect to the good people that created Beast Machines, and it did look amazing. The character designs, Black Arachne and Beast Machines, rocked. So did Cheetor. Rattrap actually looked like a rat instead of a mouse.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I mean, when I went to David Kay's house, he had a massive poster of Beast Machines in his house, and I think it's signed by most of the cast. I was like,
Yeah.
that looks cool. I should check that out.
Do I have one?
Quee wants to know, what are your thoughts on Transmutate? Is she a horror or is she a sweetie?
Well, given the nature of the relationship that some of my characters had with Transmutate, I'm going to say a bit of a sweetie. Bit of a sweetie. I got a soft spot for those, those Transmutate types. Just saying.
Nice.
Only
Nice.
for my personal consumption in my private collection, of course.
I know we mentioned I know we mentioned about Sue Blue before, but really, what was it like to work with her, like as a voice director? I mean, she'd come up from LA to Canada to do Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Did she do Beast Machines as well, or was it just Beast Wars?
Oh, God, you know what? I should remember this because I worked with Sue so many times. I mean, she was the first director I worked with. New Adventures of He-Man was all Sue, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, I adore Sue, and her little bundle of energy self would come, and I learned a lot from working with Sue. Just about the basics of the voiceover industry, right? Because it was pretty new to us at the time. All
Yeah.
those years ago, 35 years before the microphone now, man and boy. We didn't have no fancy tape back then. You just had you held up the tape and you yelled at it. That's right, tape. But yeah, she was so much fun to work with.
Yeah, she's one of the best female voice directors ever. Yeah,
I have a recipe for crack, what they call edible crack from Sue's wife.
Oh, okay.
I was sitting there, it was one of the TF cons, and she came in and she's like, are you a bit of a food guy? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm very much a food guy. She's like, you need to make this and eat it. It will blow your mind. So she gave me the recipe.
Nice.
Which I have not yet made, but I will.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that out for me one day what that is. Maybe. I don't know. What is your most memorable moment from recording Beast Wars? Do you have a memorable recording session that you did?
There was so many. I mean, we were on that show for, a total of 5 seasons, 5 years recording it. The thing that sticks in my mind is the first time we saw it. Because everything that we had done up to that point was a lot of, commercial Saturday morning, let's sell some toy cartoons. And I'd done a lot of them. Beast Wars we knew was special when we were doing it.
Yeah.
Because the scripts were so good. And then we had a meeting. They showed us the first episode. Like they had a big party and we were like, what? Because the animators were there a lot of times. They were either videotaping us or they were there at the sessions. Because it was all new to everybody, right? The CG animation was a pretty new thing. And just watching the thing that blew my, the first time you see Megatron, he did something, and he did this little hand thing. And we all just went, what? That is so cool. It added to the characters. I grew up with the Warner Brothers cartoons with with Chuck Jones, I think is the greatest animator ever. You know, it could do more with a blink
Yeah.
and a twitch than. So there's a difference between animating things, because a lot of our stuff was animated overseas. You know, and it'd be like you make the arms move and the mouth move, but like a great Chuck Jones animation, what they did on Beast Wars was, you know, they were as much creating the character as we were.
Yeah.
First time I saw Rattrap, you know, I'm going, I don't know, you know, hey, look at me, and I was watching his little hands, and I was going, that's exactly what I did in the studio when I was recording that. Can you believe this? Oh man, these guys are amazing.
They're all legendary.
That
Honestly.
I remember, and just, I mean, we were pretty much drunk the whole time too. So. I had an open bar in the studio. They went, "You guys are gonna be creative, man. You fill your boots up with whatever you want. There, we got it all."
Man, I love Wii Sports.
Of course, we're not actually drunk.
Oh,
We were high. No.
fair enough. Fair enough. My head's gone completely blank. I don't even know what I was gonna say.
Stare at each other for the next 4 minutes.
Okay.
You have
So,
lovely eyes.
thank you. I like your hat. I like your beard. I like
Thank you.
everything about you.
It's new, man. My head
like
is making its debut on interview television on the YouTubes and the interwebs.
It's lovely.
It's very
It's
firm.
very nice. Anime. Right. Okay. Someone said to me, you've got to bring up Scott McNeil voicing anime. Like, he loves talking about it. So,
I hate
what's it like?
talking. I hate it. Nah. Anime.
Up. They said, oh,
I love working. Anime's fun, but it is different. It's very different.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Because, you know, of course, like a show like Beast Wars, or we're all in the studio, and there's this incredible talent pool. Beast Wars, particularly. I mean, that was another thing about that show. Everybody on it was so freaking good.
Yes.
You know, so we were all developing the show at the same time, and the relationships just happened. And, you know, when you're working with people that are that good, you can just bounce back and forth off of each other. It was astonishing. Anime, dubbing of any kind, Japanimation, we used to call it back in the day. But, you know, any language, right? I just do Russian stuff. But you're in a box by yourself, acting with somebody else's lips.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's never going to have the same feel. But then again, some of the anime series that I've worked on have gone on to be profoundly successful and hugely impactful on people's worlds. You know, some of them are just big franchise, like Dragon Ball Z. We were the original bunch on that. You know, that's still a big deal. Shows like Gundam Wing for me. You know, I make you this promise: I will be the god of death once more. And now, I need, Yasha again. These big, sweeping, epic storylines. That's what was so much more interesting about those shows as opposed to some of the North American stuff. You know, and you got to, but at the same time, we never knew what the hell was going on. You know, we just hear 3 beeps and you go, I hope this fits. I will tell you a little trade secret. If you screw up a line, so we're sitting there and it's like, I have no idea what's coming up next. Okay, beep, beep, beep. You know, I will make it. Oh, fuck. Son of a, what can I? Screwed up the line again. Why? This little stupid box recording that it will always fit the flaps perfectly. Nobody knows, but that's a fact.
Definitely. Now, thank you for saying about Gundam, because that's literally just reminded me. We came so close to meeting each other in person. So you were at San Diego Comic-Con. I was also at San Diego Comic-Con. I had plans to go to the Gundam panel, but there was also
something more interesting came along.
There was 2 more things. But the thing is, I
'Cause,
thought
really, there's not much to do at San Diego Comic-Con.
there's like 5 panels on at the same time as each other. But
Oh, I
like
know.
I went to one of the panels, and then I had to swing round to another thing of the panel room to meet some people from a panel. And then by the time I got to where the Gundam panel was, I think you and the other guys who were on the panel had already left. So I said to myself, okay, it's no biggie. I'll see him at TFNation.
Okay, again with the guilt. I feel terrible.
No, it's fine. No, I'm not upset. I'm not upset.
We will
You'll have-
meet in person. Oh yes,
I
mark
was
my
gonna-
words.
I
We
was
will.
gonna say so.
I will find you. I'm
No,
hoping
so
to get back to TFNation in Birmingham.
beaming.
Like, I
Have
was
you,
all
have you-
set up to go. I had my airline ticket. Everything was booked and ready to go, and then things kind of went strangely sideways,
downhill?
which I felt very poorly about. And yet they were so kind and so nice. They sent me this beautiful book of well wishes. And just like,
Hey, you got the book! I
got
signed
the
in that book. I'm on the first page next to Billy. My message is
Seriously?
in that book. Yeah, I'm on the first
I
page.
got down and I thought, like, oh God, they're so pissed off at me right now. They sent a bomb. And it was like, no, open it. It was like, oh my God, you people are nice.
So they did send you the book. Let me get a picture of what I put in your book because I took a picture. Where
Hold
are
on.
you?
Give me half a second. I'll be right back. So let's see. The first thing that you said in the book is, which are my cool glasses? Matt, then Billy. Dear Scott McNeil, I'm sending you all the love and healing vibes in the world. Hope to talk to you soon, Amber Jones. And in red pen, get well soon.
Yay! You got the book. Hey, look
Of
at that!
course.
Oh, nice. That is awesome. I'm so happy you got that book. I am.
I haven't even looked at, oh my God.
God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. A lot of people, like
I
everyone.
had to pay people to sign my high school annual.
Didn't have to pay anyone here. Yeah, everyone signed it. Everyone missed you. Everyone they speak so highly of you, and just oh man, it was such. Oh my God. I'm just gonna say you would love it at TFNation. It's more fan based than
I've done
other
it before.
Transformers conventions. Oh, you did auto assembly, didn't you? Or did you
I
do it
did.
as TFNation?
Yeah, I did whatever it was called at the time in
Auto
2012. That
assembly.
was my first and only exposure to the UK, and I frickin' did not want to come home. I loved it there.
Yeah, no, it's
I was going to go up Yorkshire way, but I didn't have time, did I?
it's more fan based than money based, and that's what I love about TFNation. As I say to everyone, it's Christmas. It's Christmas come early. I get to hang out with all the people I love and have a good time.
Yeah, the first one I did, I was there in 2012. We spent the entire convention basically in the pub at the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
So we're guys that never left the pub.
I'm trying to think, where was it? In 2012. Let's have a look. Auto assembly
It was
2012.
It was in Birmingham.
It was. Oh, it was. It was the first one that they held at the Hilton Birmingham Metropole, which is where it still is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted to go back. I was all, like I said, I had my ticket. It was home.
And trust me, I have been messaging Billy saying it's the 30th anniversary of Beast Wars. You need to get Scott McNeil back for this year. You need to make it up to him now. Yes.
It wasn't their fault I couldn't go. They owe me nothing.
I know, but they should invite you back, give you another chance.
I would love to go.
Love it. Love it.
So who organized the book? Because that is really mind-bogglingly sweet.
I do not know. I think it might have been, my best guess is probably either David Wallace or Billy.
Yeah.
That's probably.
Thank you, guys. There's an awesome picture of Waspinator in here.
Is there? Oh, wow.
People have so much talent and stickers and stuff. There's plenty of stuff to do in here.
Well, I'm surprised at people. I thought people were only going to
these
write.
are illustrated.
Oh, wow. Oh, they drew Ace and Dr. Wily. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's awesome.
Ace the Bat-Hound, the dark paw of justice.
Love that.
I
You
met
know,
Kevin Conway once at a con.
me too.
I'm like,
Me
hi,
too.
Mr. Conway. Hi, this is kind of sound weird, but my name's Scott McNeil. I played your dog once, and he went, "Oh, that's great." He was impressed at all.
I met him. I met him the
Yeah.
same year before he died. He did his last UK show. But it was very brief. I only met him during the photo op, so I was like, yeah, it was. But it pissed me off a little bit because after I met him, my autistic mind started a hyperfixation on Batman the animated series. I was like, why couldn't this have started before? I was just like, I want him to come back, and then he died. And then I was sad, and then I was very sad, and I was like, well, why? I was like, all I could say is just, fuck.
I watched, which it was one of the first good Batmans, and now I never do this, but I was so blown away by the performance of the actor playing the Joker that and this is how long ago it was. I'm talking about the animated series.
Oh,
so I fast forwarded on my VHS to the end of the show.
Oh,
I went, I need to know who this is. Like, that is mind-boggling how good that was. And I went, oh, that's weird. It says Mark Hamill. Like the same name as the guy from Star Wars. The guy, we're never going to get off this planet. I thought, no, it can't be. And it is and was. And I went, holy crap, that was impressive. And of course, everything else he's done. I have a theory then that resonates for myself as well as others. Because, like, I think my normal speaking voice is kind of weenie-ish and I don't like it much. And Hamill, especially in the younger days, had kind of a thin, people kind of, but I think those are the people that go on to learn how to do things with their voice to really become these amazing voice characters. Some people are just born with a natural, I meet people all the time. People tell me I've got a great voice, so I should be a voice actor. And it's like, you do have a great voice. I wish I talked like you, but I don't. But I had to learn to talk like a lot of other people. And yeah, Mark Hamill's performance as the Joker, it was so seminal. It was so good. And I was going, it can't be the same guy. It can't be. Fun fact, in a lot of the Star Wars stuff later, it's like Mark Hamill doesn't actually voice Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. They have other people that sound perfectly like. That's a weird thing about the voiceover industry is it's fairly incestuous. It was like, well, can you do his voice? Oh, absolutely. Okay. Because somebody walks into a studio with a voice, within 4 minutes, everybody else in the room can do that voice because we're like that. We're little stealing vampires. And then it's like, you know what? They went out for lunch. Can anybody cover that stuff? And it's like, hey, yeah, that's pretty good. You sound just like them.
Oh, do you know who was originally going to voice the Joker?
I do not. I know Tim Curry at one point.
It was going to be Tim Curry.
Yeah, I mean, that's a person that just got a spectacular voice and is also a great voice actor.
Yeah,
and a great actor.
I have his autobiography, Vagabond. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and
I've watched a few videos on him recently, but Mark Hamill he made that. It's the seminal performance, right? Everybody that's played the Joker since is always kind of, and there've been amazing performances, but it's based on that. It's like, Stanley Kowalski in Streetcar Named Desire is always going to be Marlon Brando as Stanley.
Yeah.
There are certain performances that just, it's like, that's the one.
It happens. Yeah.
That's the one that worked.
Definitely. And speaking of oh god, what's the name? What's the name called back? Tim Curry. Of course, he's really close friends with one of my previous voiceover mentors. I took a class with him, Charlie Adler. Do you know of Charlie? Have you worked with him? Have you met him?
I have worked with Charlie a number of times. He is, let me see, what is the best and most polite way I can say this? He is the craziest motherfucker I have ever worked with in
Yes.
my life. He's directed a couple of shows that man, it's cuckoo. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
how to take it. The last convention I actually was in San Diego. Somebody went, "Your energy, like you and Charlie Adler are very." And we played a lot of the same roles. Actually, we were looking
Yeah.
through and going, "Oh yeah, you were the king, and I was king. You know, you were the." And we played a lot of the same characters in different versions. But yeah, he's a crazy motherfucker, man. A
It,
crazy motherfucker.
100%. I was gonna say I took a class with. Well, I met Rob Paulson last year,
I
and
met him in Comic Con, and
hey,
I had time to kill, and I was wandering around, and I look and I like Rob Paulson, and I watched the way he worked with because of course there's giant lineups and stuff,
yeah.
and I just watched him, and he was like engaging with, and I went, I do that. Like I don't sit instantly, and so I went. I wonder what the chances are, and I stood there, and expecting someone to go, "Oh, excuse me, sir." There's and I said, "You know what? I'm one of the other guys. Is there any chance I could And so he looks at me and say, "Hey, how are you?" I just went, "Hi, I wanted to introduce myself. Scott, my name's Scott McNeil. I do what you." And he's like, and he knew who I was, which blew my freaking mind. And I went, "Look, I've been watching this, and you and I work the same way." And it's like, speaking of seminal characters, I think one of the greatest modern characters ever played, ever. Like people have said, what's your favorite? I cite the Brain a lot, Maurice LaMarche, which is a great character, but it's a version of Orson. But what he did with Pinky did so much there. Like a lot of the new stuff and up and newer voice actors that, oh yeah, I'm a voice actor now. And it's like, oh, dude, it's the most beautifully complex, wonderful cartoon character in the last 50 years. And he was so nice. I have a picture of him and me, and I'm just like,
Nice.
ah,
He's
no.
awesome.
I was so like, and not just fanboying, but based upon like my understanding what he does too,
Yeah.
and how much talent and how much he put into, and everything else he's done is amazing, right? But that character, you know, oh, the global, Panama database. That was one take, apparently.
Yeah,
One
the
take.
countries of the world. Yeah. Well,
There's a caliber there that is just unequaled.
yeah.
Is for just shockingly goofy and talented and deranged, and
Yeah.
so nice. I have the picture. I have It's just like, and I've been, that's me and freaking Rob Paulson,
Oh,
man.
that's so wholesome.
And he was so nice.
I always say he's the complete opposite of Charlie Adler. Rob seems like the nicest person in the world. I've never seen him get mad. I've never
Nope.
heard him like he's so laid back and takes time for all his hands. Charlie, on the other hand, swears his ass off, and he's one of those crazy people I've ever taken a workshop with. It's so
Yeah.
funny, and I love them both. They're just two completely different people, but they get along so well. It's so funny. I love it. I love it. Me.
Yeah.
Um,
Every session would start with Charlie on the other end of the line going, "Hey, how's your whole family?" Like, "Good morning, Charlie."
That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my god. Okay. I think it's time for some more fan questions. Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Let's
Okay.
first.
Yeah. You in the back, please. In the blue shirt. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Raymond T.
You're on the
Franzman.
air.
Raymond T. Franzman wants to know what is your most memorable fan interaction?
Ones that I can legally talk about.
Yes.
Ah, my most, you know what? I mean, there are ones, and I started to touch on this earlier,
Mm-hmm.
where people have really revealed how much their lives had been changed and affected by something that from a character that I had portrayed.
Yeah.
Staggering. I have one of those sort of Middle Eastern scarf things. I don't know what they're called. It was presented to me, and it was from a guy that was there. His buddy had gone off to the Middle East for the funds that were going on over there, and did not come home. But he sent this, and he wanted me to have it, and he said it was because of Dinobot that he was able to funnel the courage to and stuff like, or parents that have come up and just gone, look. One was amazing, actually. I remember I was talking with this little girl once. Gary might have been there too, and we spent like an hour just like chatting and goofing around, and
Yeah.
when we're supposed to be doing other stuff. And I got a letter from the parents going, just want you to know my daughter was diagnosed with this, and this, like 4 years ago. And you and Mr. Chuck spent all this time, and that is the first time I have seen her laugh or smile in stuff like that. People whose siblings. It was like when my brother went through 4 years of cancer and either did or did not survive, but dual Maxwell on stuff like that. That's shockingly common. The most memorable was probably being somewhere in the deep south where dental hygiene is sometimes less of a rule than a basic if you got time guideline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was someplace in some little podunk town, and I've never seen worse teeth in my life. Like black, rotting stumps of never. What the hell is a toothbrush? I was standing there after doing a panel, talking with people. Then this girl came running up out of nowhere and decided to lick my face. And then disappeared.
Are you having a laugh? Did she actually do that?
Oh yes, she did.
What the?
And then vanished. But let us say the aroma lingered.
Oh
It was like
God.
somebody get me. I'm like, hey, I'm talking with people and being crazy. So somebody get me some fucking bleach and steel wool and a grinding disc and a sander to get this stuff off. It's burning.
Oh my God.
She's probably watching right now going, yeah, it was me.
That was me. I did that.
That's right.
I was the one who
weird
did that.
infestation that took years to clear up. So yeah, I mean, there are many, many strange and wonderful interactions at fan conventions. Trust me.
I can tell for sure. Sammy Sadek wants to know what has been the most difficult performance you've ever given, both as a voice actor and as an on-camera actor.
Sammy Sadek, why do I know that name?
You've probably met him before.
It's entirely possible. That's like I've done 15,000 plus episodes of various cartoons over the years, and the most difficult. I mean, physically, some of the Dragon Ball stuff was just challenging because you never knew how long those screams were going to last. I passed out in the studio several times.
Oh, okay.
Just from because you just hear beep beep beep, and you go, and then 45 minutes later, it's like. Physically, the only thing I've ever done that actually really challenged my voice and physically hurt was I had the honor briefly of playing Cobra Commander in G.I. Joe after Chris Latta had passed away. And that is a tough voice. I cannot do it anymore. But fun fact, kids, I took that voice and when farting around in the auditions for Beast Wars, I ended up taking that basic premise and then pitching it down about 2 octaves. So from you take it down an octave or 2, and then maybe down another one, and the next thing you'll know, you suddenly have a Predacon. the nose thing, you know where I got that from? I got that from Shere Khan in the Jungle Book.
Wow. I
George
think you
Saunders does this wonderful little inhale, and the animators made his nostril go. And I saw that as a kid, and it blew my mind.
didn't you didn't you audition for Cheetor as well in Beast
I
Wars? And you auditioned for
actually, I auditioned for all the characters. You have to understand, nobody wants to follow me into an audition room
and also
because
Starscream.
I throw all the spaghetti at the wall and hope that all the spaghetti will stick, or that some of it. That was back in the day. Of course, we don't go into the room to audition anymore. We don't go into the studio to work together anymore. Everything's done from home studios and blah, blah, blah. But back in the day,
Yeah.
I think originally I was actually, I think they had actually cast me as Cheetor and then went, no, this is a bad idea, which it was.
Ah, okay.
And then gave it to Ian. But yeah, at one point I was definitely in the running. And I think they went, no, we can't. That's dumb. That's just dumb. We need a human to play Cheetor. Ian's a trippy person to work with, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Like, people often think, so you just sit in a room and you say, oh, you would never believe how physical and how animated voice actors are when we're working.
Yeah.
Like, everything is arms flying and character, and people like, how do you maintain or change characters like that? It's like your whole body changes, everything. The characters are complete. Except Corlett, who can freaking stand there with his freaking hands in his freaking pockets and deliver these astonishing freaking characters. And he's played a million characters that are totally different, that are all amazing. And you go, you don't move. Maybe it's because he's a drummer and he just uses his hands and his ankles. It's weird. Anyway.
Nice. Sammy.
I think Scott went off on a tangent there, didn't he? He certainly did.
Maybe. I don't know. Sammy did just message me.
Oh, what was that?
Sammy?
Difficult? I don't know.
No,
I mean,
no.
anytime you die sucks because you're not getting paid anymore.
He says, yeah, I met him at Auto Assembly. He says 2010. I'm not sure which, well, tried to impress him with my Waspinator. I can't do Waspinator.
I bet that was pretty good. I think Waspinator is the most seminal voice that I've ever created. I went, that is uniquely mine, and I created it. And I have met hundreds and hundreds of people who do a better Waspinator than I do. Like, that's my tombstone epitaph after the end of my career thing. It was like, yeah, but you know what? I created Waspinator.
I was the OG.
They're like, go on, honey, that's the Waspinator. Do your... It's like, I'm out of a job, man. You guys are good. Of course, now Tom Kenny is playing Waspinator. Waspinator don't want to live in pineapple under the sea. With all due respect to Tim Kenny or Tom Kenny.
I mean, I've not met the guy, but he seems
difficult.
Nice.
It's never difficult, I think as an actor, it doesn't matter if you're playing like Hitler, Satan, Jeffrey Dahmer, rapist, monster, creep, and I've played some very dark characters too. But somehow, as a performer, you have to find a way, and it sounds weird, to enjoy playing that. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's like they're just watching an actor suffer.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I've seen, some of the most amazing performances I've ever seen on film, television, and where people really go, but you go, somewhere inside, the actor is enjoying this, because if he isn't, it doesn't work. It's like anti-charisma. It's like that person is having a lousy time. Or they're like, you see how much I'm suffering, bro? That makes me a great actor. It's like, no, it doesn't. It just makes you a jerk. And why are you doing this for a living? It shouldn't be hard. It's called a play for a reason.
Yeah, it is. Orion Jax says, "Hey Scott, been a fan of yours for a while. Hi, for a while, especially for Ninjago. My question for you is between both, which of your voices was the hardest on your throat, Dinobot or the Overlord?"
You know what? I mean, I hate to be that guy, but I can do a lot of stuff vocally that would hurt most people. I mean, speech pathologists just go, "Oh, that's not right." And part of the reasons that I was able to work a lot is I can do a lot of vocal manipulation and go into places that. So they didn't really hurt. Like I said, Cobra Commander was the only one that I just went, I got 2 takes here.
Yeah.
I got 2 takes. Strangely enough, doing conventions will occasionally blow my voice apart because I'm just yakking the whole time.
Yeah.
But they're not dissimilar placements, for one thing. And plus, the Overlord changed all the time. He kept dying and coming back as another Overlord. And then it was, the ethereal Overlord or the corporeal Overlord. But, that probably drove the engineers more crazy than it drove me because they're like, how loud is he going to be on this? Is he going to be a whispery Overlord? It's the big bombastic screaming ones that can kind of get you after a while.
Yeah.
That and doing Walla, which is something we used to do at the end of a recording session or the end of a season on a show. Be like, okay, now we have to record the Walla library. And everyone's like, which means you get a big sheet of paper with small grunt reaction, short, medium, long. Medium grunt reaction, short, medium, long. And, sometimes there's 20, 30 pages of these things. And you're just like, ugh. Or, running and falling down the stairs and tripping along the way to the bathroom sounds.
Yeah.
Early anime that we used to do.
Yeah.
They decided they needed a sound or a vocalization for every single thing the character was doing on screen. Somebody just decided that. So a guy's sitting at a typewriter and it's like, so seriously, you want me 15 minutes of typing efforts? They stopped doing that. Like in real life, people don't make noise for everything. And dying, of course, can often be a bit of a challenge, but you had to always cartoon die. So you'd have to die and then make a little noise at the end just to let them know they weren't really dead. The very first character to ever die on regular network Saturday morning cartoons was a character called the Headman in G.I. Joe, because he was a drug dealer. He dealt this marvelous drug called Spock. And up until that point, you could not kill a character. They were only very badly injured. And at the end of the last episode of this thing, his dead, cold, dead hand was reaching up from a pile of spark where he'd overdosed. And it was like, remember, kids, drugs kill. And I got to play the Overlord. So I was the first character in North American animation history that actually was able to die on a network show.
Optimus Prime doesn't count. He came back. And also, it's like, oh, now we know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. You remember the PSAs that they did? Yeah.
Dinobot did die, which was moving and incredible. And then when I first met, I told you the story earlier about that BotCon.
Yeah.
When people were just like, so please, but they went, please don't make this cheap by bringing the character back. And I went, oh, trust me, he's dead. Like, he's dead. And then, sure enough, he did come back, and I dropped the ball on that one by not playing him right, because he was such a psycho as Dinobot too, and I played him too nice.
Yeah, definitely.
But I was as surprised as anybody. It was like, you mean he's back? Like, I thought this was like, I'd rest his silence. And I go, okay, so when do I come back? It's like, oh, you don't, Scott, he's dead. Yeah, but he's like cartoon dead, right? It's like, oh no, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like Dinobot's dead. There goes a quarter of my paycheck.
And a few episodes later, resurrection. Oh!
Yeah.
And he came back, and then I prefer original Dinobot. For me, will always be the best one. Just saying.
I agree.
Yes.
He was a complex character to play because he was a complex character too. This is kind of coming back to difficult because I did have to get, playing somebody like Waspinator is pretty easy because he's just a spaz. Even somebody like Rattrap is, I wouldn't say simple or one-dimensional, but it's a less complex character. Yeah. Even Silverbolt was just, his Paladinian. We're making up new words every day in every way. Paladinian character. But Dinobot, as it went, because of course Dinobot was originally just one of the villains. And then
Yeah.
it became more and more complicated. And again, that comes back to the writing on that show. And it was a fun and challenging character to play because you had to find that depth to make him relatable and make him compassionate.
Yeah.
And make him, it's like he's not a good guy, but you
Yeah.
got to kind of understand why he's doing what he's doing. What does this
Yeah.
mean?
I
Got your hand
forgot.
up in
So
the air.
there's a sticker on my wardrobe. It's a rat trap sticker. Someone gave it to me at TFCon. It says Rattrap maximizes a little rat.
Rattrap maximized.
I love it. I love it. Matt Dobie wants to know what's the one role that you regret not getting?
Any role that I auditioned for and I didn't get.
I don't blame you. I auditioned for stuff
This
like
is how we make our living, kids.
I know.
I literally anything that comes through back in the day anyway when we used to audition. Yeah, I mean we like to I thrive on working. I do not do well with free time. Trust me. So I mean I never had a chance to read for it, and I would certainly not hold a candle to the actor who played it, but people have said like, what's your favorite character out there?
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Maurice LaMarche's Brain from Pinky and the Brain. So I've used that as an answer before to this, because I would love to have played that or part of a plan to take over the world. But, it's like why I wouldn't have done it that way. Yeah, I wish there was a better answer for that. I really do.
That's okay. Maybe I'll have a better answer for this question. Ashley Mansfield wants to know, how do you retain... Ashley, you probably met him before. He does a lot of these cons, maybe. I don't know. How do you retain the multiple voices you do? When a character is given to you, can you just do it? Or sometimes do you need some audio to recall?
You know what? When we started doing this, this is something I learned from Sue Blue. Sometimes, especially because, when we started doing it, you'd be doing 65 episodes of a series, and the characters would kind of change and evolve as well. Like, watch season 1 of The Simpsons.
Yes.
That ain't the same show.
No.
At all. People find the characters over time, especially Homer. It's like, it's vastly different.
He was Walter Matthau. And then
he was Walter
like,
Matthau. Exactly. And then eventually became Homer. Which is in the dictionary, which is cool. I've never been in the dictionary.
Well, it's not
I
spelled
am
though.
a Cards Against Humanity card. And
Wait,
I've been a pen dispenser, which is cool. But yeah. What were we talking about?
It's not spelled though. It was literally just called Annoyed Grunt. And then obviously Dan Castana came up with that. You were on a Cards Against Humanity card?
Yeah, there's one that actually it's Scott McNeil. I'm a Cards Against Humanity card.
Hey, was it a specific pack or was it just the original?
I have no idea.
I'll try and find out for you.
Yeah.
It was how do you sort of keep the voices?
We used to, back in the day, we would have a thing like, if you were having trouble like sort of finding a character again, you'd hear Sue on the thing going, can you just bring up his voice ref? And they'd find, like, when you were first finding the character, be it at the audition or, usually in the first couple of sessions, they'd go, you know what, that's a signature line right there. That line nails the character. So they'd just record it and then just have it in the studio. So it'd be like, or again, from Sue, she'd be like, when you're coming up with a character, find a catchphrase, find something that will trigger that character, Oh man, I know, shut up, Rattrap. So if you are in the studio and you get a bit lost, you can just go, hang on, scroll through the mental Rolodex. That's called a file thing for us young or us old folk. You can then reference it. After a while, it becomes, I mean, with the amount of brain damage and cerebral messiness that goes on in my head, they're all there all the time. You just got to sort through and find the right ones.
Yeah.
But that catchphrase thing would do it if you go like, wait a minute, I'm kind of drifting off here. You'd find that line and just, oh, hang on. Oh, okay, that's it. You just need the sound or a signature word or a signature phrase to keep them all straight. You
Yeah.
know, stuff like Beast Wars we record, we would usually do those, like the Dinobot Rattrap stuff, we do that in one pass. That's not always the case. Sometimes you play one character and then you go back and you record the other side. It's more fun and organic, I think, if you can just play it back and forth. But that's just experience and having a fairly horrifying and debilitating mental illness.
Yeah.
We record the voices on the outside.
Occasionally you'd get lost. You'd suddenly go like, I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. Like the third time you say the word who, you're like, this doesn't make sense. This isn't even a word.
I was gonna
And it's
say,
like
yeah.
spelled right. Why is it spelled whoa?
Whoa. 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 That's what I was.
Who is a weird word, and English is a weird language, and I love it so
Yeah.
much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gordon McDingus wants to know. This
Oh,
might be a
come
deep cut.
on. Your real name is not Gordon.
Do you have any memories doing additional voices for an
I have no
obscure
memories whatsoever, not since my accident.
but an interesting animated show, The Baby Huey Show? And if
I
so,
remember that.
what was that experience about? Like, if you could remember it.
I played Huey's dad, I think, Papa Huey. It was cool for me because, like, I don't think the show really went on to do anything.
Mhm.
But these were iconic characters that I grew up with. I was never like a Baby Huey fan. I always thought it was kind of a weird show. And the comic books, too. I grew up with those. So getting a chance to work on that show and be part of that universe was amazing.
Yeah.
There was a character called Uncle Pecos on Tom and Jerry, and he was the greatest character. Look him up, and he
Yes.
sings, and he's got
Is
this
he the one
weird.
with the mustache?
Yeah, he was a giant
Yes.
mustache.
I know.
I've
Yeah.
tried to do
I
him
know.
recently, and I keep sliding into Porky Pig because he's got a similar stutter, but it's very different. Anyway, but I got to play Uncle Pecos, and again, for me, that was like, what am I doing? And I kind of nailed that one. I've seen the recording. Being Hermie and Yukon Cornelius in Rudolph. Hello. You know, the seminal for me growing up, my Christmas show.
And,
It's really good.
suddenly going, I'm independent. Not if you don't mind my being a dentist.
Did I ever tell you about Bumbles? I didn't realize that the original voice of Hermie was the same guy that was Spider-Man and was also Canadian.
Yes. And the
Until
fact
I
that the
watched
original
the movie,
cast.
the show years later, and I went,
Yes.
they all sound like they have a Toronto accent.
I was gonna say at
I
least
just think
the
we heard a
original.
couple of outs and abouts in there.
Yeah, at least the original cast were Canadian, just like
Yeah.
obviously the 2D one, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the movie, which isn't related. It's not Rankin
Yeah.
Bass anime. And then you've got Island of Misfit Toys, also a Canadian cast. And then there was a Wii game released on
Yeah.
Rudolph. I don't know. But yeah, and all right, okay. And the original voice actor, the original voice for Yukon Cornelius was Larry D. Mann, who was a famous Canadian actor. His son went on to become a voice actor, Danny Mann. He was also in Transformers. He was in G1. Yeah, Larry D. Mann is the dad of Danny Mann.
Oh, I know who Larry is. I didn't know his son was a VA. Well, that's cool.
He's a voice actor, Danny Mann. For those of you who don't know him, look him up at home. He was in G1 Transformers. He's done a lot of ADR and Lupin and stuff in like Disney and DreamWorks films. And he's a really nice guy. Literally, the photos of him online are literally outdated. Like he's got short black hair. When I met him, he had like long grey hair. He looked really cool, and he had a cap on.
Yeah.
He was really cool. But yeah, he's like father, like son, and I love it. We spoke about his dad when I met him at TFCon. Oh my god, he was so sweet. He was so sweet. Oh, it was so cool. It was so cool. Yeah, I was going to ask you what was your experience working on, because obviously I presumed you grew up with the original Rudolph, which it didn't air over here, so I'm not familiar. It did get released on DVD though, but I didn't watch it growing up simply because it was not broadcast on television. I wasn't really exposed to the whole Rankin Bass thing until I was like 10 or something like that.
There's still
I
it's
need
part
to
of my
watch it.
Christmas. I can't watch Rudolph anymore because I'm like, you know, like I don't play World of Warcraft anymore, even though I played every day of my life for 9 years. Because once I was in the game, which was one of the greatest experiences of my life,
Yeah.
being such a fan of the game, And then I'm like, now I can't play it anymore because I'm in it.
I know the feeling.
He's a fellow warrior by my side. It was like, how low can you go and how much can you rumble? These orcs, I'm telling you.
I got one
Which
more
would sound
fan.
really cool if I had my lav mic on.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we could do a part 2 in the future, and you could get it working for that. There is so much to talk about, man. We've got like we're probably gonna have to split this into 2 parts because there's so much of your career that I've not touched down on yet.
You cut out all the nonsense that I say, you probably get about 6 minutes. And it's like he was just talking about stuff. Huh?
Huh? What did he say? What did he say? I didn't
He's
hear.
like,
I
if
can't
he on
understand.
drugs, he's like, no, he just like that. He got worse after his head injury, but he's just like that.
I've got one final fan question for you, and then we'll go back onto my topics. Jesse Devine says, any favorite memories from voice acting on League of Super Evil?
That's a show that not a ton of people know because I don't think it aired much outside of Canada. I
don't know
love
if it aired
that
in the
show.
UK. Let's have a look. I know Colin was in it because we spoke about it the other day.
It was myself, Colin, and Lee Tokar, and
I know Lee as well.
we had so much fun. That's the only other show outside of Beast Wars where I used to kind of watch the show.
CBBC.
It was adorable, and it was classically like animation. It was a company called Nerdcore, and it was CG as well, but it was like a 2D CG. It's a terrific show. I still watch it. I've got all the episodes someplace.
It did air in the UK.
I want to be very cartoony. And they are the world's worst supervillains.
Yes.
And if you ask me, my favorite character on the show was Colin Murdoch's character, Red, because he was so disingenuous and sweet. It's just the most marvelous character. I'm in love with him. It's just fabulous. Nobody could, and we had a ton of fun on that show too because now that was a show that I did push myself. I would often leave the studio with a migraine because there was a lot of high pitched screaming in that show.
Yeah,
in sort of a compressed kind of way. Technically, it was a little bit weird, but it was a good show. It was a good show, and it was again good writing, good animation, and an amazing cast. And they let us play and have fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I always think makes for a better product.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Now, I swear I saw this online a few years back, and I was like, if I ever get you on my show, I would have to talk to you about this ASAP. Now, apparently,
Scott, I have to talk to you about something.
I have to talk to you, if not,
it's your hygiene.
So,
ever since that girl licked your face, there's a bit of an aroma is all I'm saying. I mean, it's not like a stench. I wouldn't call it a stench, but it's very, very profound and very pronounced. It seeds you into a room. I can smell it through the phone connection, through the Zoom meeting. Yeah.
Oh, God, my cheeks ache.
I digress.
There we go.
If I press OK on the button that says this meeting is being recorded, will it make that bar go away?
Yes.
Because it's right across your face.
Oh,
no. I can see you now.
Oh, you should have said that before. Oh, no. Okay, you can see my face now. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so, have you ever... So, the DreamWorks film Madagascar, apparently there is an original cut that features you in it. Apparently there was a cut that was done with actual voice actors instead of celebrities, and apparently you voiced Alex the Lion. Can you confirm or deny if this is true?
You know what? I can neither confirm nor deny it because honestly, I don't know. Now, in the day, we did a lot of that. You know, the celebrities that get the $4 million for the movies after 4 months of working with them and them talking about how this is really draining and emotionally. Eventually, the producers go, oh, for fuck's sake. So they will hire a professional voice actor, hypothetically, of course. So hypothetically, they could perhaps then engage someone like myself or several of the other local talents or LA talents or whatever. And we will go in and record the entire movie in a 2-hour session. and then they would perhaps hypothetically play each line for the name actor
Yeah.
and say, okay, you're going to listen to this line 3 times and then say it just like that.
Yes.
We used to do a lot of that. And if you do things like that, they tend to not be called Madagascar. It'll be Project something or other. So is it possible? It's very possible. Do I remember doing it? Did I know I did it? No.
I
I
can't
do
find it
not.
online. I saw it on Twitter. I just can't find it now. I've been searching high and low for it. I'm like, I knew it was on there. I swear on my life it was on there, and I just can't find
Yeah.
the post. I'm like, I'm going
Yeah,
crazy.
no, that was for a fair while quite a common thing in the earlier days of getting, sort of
Yeah.
we need names on the box of this film, but these guys don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing in a studio, and it's not the same as acting with my eyes, man. Don't on the eyes. It's like it's a freaking cartoon, dude. You have no eyes.
I didn't need eyes. This is a bit of
That sounded like
difficult.
John Panette. That was weird.
Yeah, he did a little bit there.
Yeah. So this is how I come up, stuff all the time. People are like, where do you come up with the voices? I'll go like, oh, what the hell was that? That was, you know what that was? That was this. And then you combine that with that. And then you go, well, if I did this and then added that, then all of a sudden you're going, oh, that's interesting. When I used to teach, I would stress that. It's like, how do you come up with characters? It was like, just from a vocal point of view, you got 2 voices in your toolbox. You combine those 2, you got a 3rd voice. You know what? You got 4 voices. Well, now you can mix them all together and you got 8, or then 16, or then blah, blah, blah. And every time you add something new into a character, it defines it and makes it, because there's only really 3 voices. And I
Yeah.
haven't locked down the last 2 or the last one specifically, but it's like primary colors. One
Yeah.
of them is the Bing. The Bing Crosby, because I went, the Bing is the basis of somebody like, now, damn it, Bobby, there's something wrong with Bobby. There's a placement. So and the Bing becomes, if you really start to listen, you'll hear that placement in a
Yeah.
lot of characters and a lot of voices. There's an
Yeah.
amazing impressionist,
Yeah.
Frank Caliendo. And he does a whole bit about that, how just taking that voice actually is in the same place as this boy. I've watched a bunch of them recently, and he's also a shockingly good impressionist. Shockingly.
Wow. Oh, I have to check him out.
So one of these days I'm going to come up and isolate the 3 primary voices, and then it's like, here, buy my book. You can create any voice in the world from these 3. There, I'm done. I'm retired.
Do you remember working on a show called Hurricanes?
Now, I was going to bring this up, and I was thinking about it before we did this, because I thought
was
it
gonna
never
say.
aired in North America. It was exclusively a UK product.
It was.
And I thought, I wonder if Amber will know hurricanes. And then you mentioned it in your list at the beginning, and I'm like, cool.
We got it on VHS.
Oh, good Lord.
I know, yeah. And
was it a successful show? I guess, it might be a little old for you, but
it was 90s, I think. Yeah, it was 90s. And Colin Murdoch recognized it instantly. He started singing the theme song. I'm like, wow, these people. It's just so interesting because the history behind the show. I'm cutting my mouth off. I'm so sorry. I'm just leaning down. The history behind the cartoon is it's one of those things where I like to call. It's something to do. It's like a UK America production, which I absolutely love these sort of productions. Yeah. It was a co-production between Deke, Scottish Television Enterprises, and Serial Productions. So it was technically an American, Scottish, Welsh show with Canadian voice actors, and it aired on an English TV channel, CITV, in the UK.
Yeah, so it was based on a bunch of footballers. Soccer players to you Americans.
That's so cool. I mean, same. Was it? No, Captain. No, I'm trying to think. What was the other show? There was another show I'm on about. Oh, hang on. No, there was another show that was a co-production between Scottish Television Enterprises, Tony Collingwood Productions, and Hit Entertainment called Captain Z and the Z Zone, and a few Canadian voice actors worked on that. I can't see your name, but Gary worked on it.
Yeah, everybody. I remember the show, and I'm not sure if I was, in fact, on it. I might have come in and guest starred on it.
Yeah, but I love these sort of shows where it's like sort of like where it's like a co-production between like an American company or a Scottish company or a Welsh company, because I live on the border to Wales, so that's my home. That's my home. I know where that place is. And yeah, it's so cool. Now, this is a funny thing to bring up because I'm interested because, of course, again, I spoke with Colin about this because he was the US voice of Bob the Builder for a while. Were
I
you
didn't
in the
know
Bob
that.
reboot? Because
I was
Wikipedia
not. I
says
didn't
so.
know Colin was the voice of Bob the Builder. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, for the new animated shitty CGI one that they released. Yeah, I just didn't know because it says you were listed as additional voices, but I mean,
Oh, if I'm listed as additional voices, I was probably in it somewhere.
yeah, probably more than likely. Yeah. Woody Woodpecker the movie. Now this is a bit interesting because it was filmed in Canada.
Yep.
Woody Woodpecker was voiced by a Canadian, Eric Bowser.
Eric is a
So
talented young
yes,
man.
I met him at San Diego. One of the
I met him
nicest
in San
guys.
Diego too, actually. Well, I've worked with him a
Yeah,
couple of times, but I saw him there, and I'm just like, dude, you're Warner Brothers stuff. He's like, and then he went off on me. He was like, "You kidding me? Like, you're freaking Cobra Commander? Like,
it's so
are
cool
you
because he
serious?"
voices
I'm like, wow, he's a
he
super
voices
nice guy.
he voices all these characters, yet he's such a huge cartoon buff himself. Like he visited in the 90s when he visited LA from Canada. He visited Hanna-Barbera. He visited
Yep.
like the Warner Brothers Six Flags theme park. I'm thinking, does this guy not know he's gonna be like on that level all these years later? It's so cool. I really want to talk to him on my
That's
show.
why, yeah, I mean, we get to live the dream every now and then. You're like,
Yes.
I still like when I work and go, like, I cannot believe that I'm the guy doing this.
And I'm starting to live it
Because
now.
I grew up like totally spazzing out over the guys that did this.
Yeah, and it's wonderful, especially same with me as well. And getting to actually talk to these people and even meet them now that I'm traveling like to America and stuff. And I really want to come to Vancouver someday, but just meeting all these
It's a
people in
beautiful city.
person, it's
You get here
just
fast before they completely surround the city in 40-story towers. If you
okay.
do that and you get here before they completely destroy it, you can actually still see the mountains and the ocean and all the
Ooh.
beautiful stuff.
I would definitely spend a week in Vancouver. It seems like my
Yeah,
kind of place, and you don't have to rush because just like everyone is there, and it's not like LA where everywhere is split into like 10 different cities. Just yeah, it's quite
true.
cool.
Vancouver's, yeah, because we're hemmed in by oceans and mountains, we tend to do not
Yeah,
spread, which is why we're suddenly going up. It's a bit of a mess here right now. And of course, FIFA's happening here starting soon.
yeah,
Nobody's really happy about.
yeah.
But that becomes political, and we're not going to have that discussion.
No, no
But Vancouver
politics. I'm
used to
not
be
politics.
scenically the most beautiful city in North America,
Oh
just
wow,
based
I
on
didn't know that.
the settings. It's
That's
just,
cool.
it's like you look out, it's like the oceans, the mountain, the oceans and the mountain. Okay, I'll reverse that statement and say the mountains and the ocean.
Hmm.
It's in the beaches, and it's like I have a picture on my phone that I used to take to conventions with me of a beautiful sunset over the water with the palm tree silhouettes in the foreground. People are like, well, where the hell did y'all get that, man? From Hawaii. I said, no, that's Vancouver. I said, I thought you
Yeah,
were in Canada. It was like, well, there's Canada, and then there's Vancouver. We don't get that snow, cold, ice cube stuff,
yeah.
but it's changing.
What's your favorite color?
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese. Okay, that's fine. That is
I
that is
don't have
this.
a favorite color. I hate that question. It's plaid.
Got it. Mine's
It
yellow.
used to be plaid. It's like, who the hell has a favorite color? Who's that hemmed in? I've
That's
never
me.
understood it. Funny thing is, I
That's
don't like blue, and yet I have lots of blue stuff. So
hmm. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'm a yellow person, so it's just like everything.
yellow
Most
is
stuff
good.
I own is
Yellow is a
yellow.
good
Yeah. I mean, amber's like another word for yellow, so yeah, that works.
orange. I was an orange person for a long time, and the lime green is also good.
Nice, 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 nice. Let's talk about Salty's Lighthouse. Do you remember working on Salty's Lighthouse? Because obviously you voiced a lot of characters for that show,
I
particularly in
remember
the.
working on Salty's Lighthouse because, to be perfectly mercenary about this, I probably never made more money off of one series in
Oh,
my
okay.
life because we get
Okay.
paid by the character.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
And we
didn't.
did
I
a
did not know
lot of
that.
episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And that show was, you'd go in and there would always be new characters, and they would just, instead of, auditioning and they would just shoot around the room and go, okay, you're this, and this as well. And sometimes you were like, there was a weird category system that was worked in, a principal or actor, and you'd be like P1, A4. Salty's Lighthouse, we broke all the rules on that because the producers were from outside of this part of the world. When your stupid little rules don't really mean much to us, so we're just
Yeah.
going to give the roles to the people that we think should do the roles. Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you
Be like,
think that.
I'm playing like 12 main characters in this episode, and it was different from episode to episode,
Yeah,
which
well,
made it kind of fun.
I was gonna ask because obviously the redub segments were redubbed from a show
We're going to
that's from
do
the
today,
UK.
Salty's Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Yeah, I know that.
So the Tugs segments were obviously redubbed from a British series called Tugs. You are
Yeah.
okay. You're aware. I just wanted to make sure you're aware. Same people who made Thomas the Tank Engine, the
I was
original
going to
stop
say
motion.
it's Thomas the
You
Tank
were
Engine
yes,
with a watery basement.
yes. The whole thing was filmed at Shepperton Studios. They actually had a massive tank and they had like all the sets and stuff in and stuff. I just wanted to check if you were aware of that. I'm so happy you are.
Thank you. Do you?
Okay.
I don't know if anybody remembers that we did a show and it was quite different. It was called the Arg, the Mr. Hell Show.
Mm-hmm.
And the feature character in that, why can't I remember his name? He was an older British comic, a very famous British comic, and it was very, very adult.
What was it called? Sorry.
Arg, it's the Mr. Hell Show. And it was kind of an animated sketch comedy show. And we had forbidden fun throughout that. Yeah. So he would come in and he would do his stuff in the UK.
Oh crap! I didn't realize it was a BBC Two show. That's cool. It was. Oh my god! Oh, that's okay. Oh my god, Dobson's in it. Oh my god! Wait,
it was funny, very funny.
Jeff's one.
And it was like sketch comedy. There was like sort of recurring character, Tabitha St. Germain, and I don't know if you ever had a chance to interview Tabitha.
I haven't. No.
Oh god, she is pound for pound. I'm a massive fan of Tabitha. She's so talented. She's got more voices coming out of her ears at any given moment than anybody I know by eightfold. And they're all different. You're just like, what? She's that good. Anyway.
Who else is there? I didn't know Jeff Swan from Marsh was in it. That's got Pauline Newstone. Oh, bless her.
The sweetest woman in the world.
I know. That was one thing I was gonna ask you, and I just completely forgot. What was it like to work with her? Because it's like she did a BotCon and then she just completely dropped off the face of the planet until it was announced that she passed away. So I was just wondering, what was it like?
I did not know that.
Yeah, she only did one BotCon, I think, and that was like 2001 ish, maybe.
Pauline was, I would almost say, pathologically nice. She was the sweetest, most nice person. When I used to have dogs, she fell in love with my dogs and she used to bring them dog toys. And she was always so sweet. And Pauline was a chronic smoker, which is why she had that marvelous voice. And she had the palest, most alabaster skin. And she smelled like cotton candy all the time. She used some sort of powder.
Wow.
And I would just, if I ever smell that smell, I will instantly go, Pauline. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am.
Yeah, she did. I don't know the exact story of what happened. I just think she was a private person. So that's why she didn't really make any other.
Very, very shy and private person.
I never knew
But
that.
marvelous voice, though.
Yeah.
Like, I was so glad that she got to do what she did on Beast Wars. Because she didn't get to do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you said you used to own dogs, right?
Yeah.
That's my boy. I miss him.
Oh, hello.
I miss him dearly. I lost him back in November.
What flavors are he?
A Shih Tzu.
Oh.
His name is
you know what you get when you cross a bulldog with a Shih Tzu, don't you?
Bullshit.
Thank you.
What did it feel like to return to the franchise of Transformers for Transformers Armada and
Energon and
and
Cybertron. Yeah, there was
Cybertron,
three of
yeah.
them. It was great, but they were all dubbed. They were, quote unquote
Yeah.
anime versions of the
Yeah.
show. The director of those shows did not share the love and appreciation for how important these things were to the fans, that
Yeah.
those of us that got to go out and experience it. So I was super excited to be back, but it was a case of just like going into the booth and just cranking stuff out.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, whatever. We just got to record, just fill some dialogue in on this stuff and ship it out.
Yeah.
So there wasn't the love put into those, except from those, I think, of us who cared enough about it to go, no, 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 this is not a little deal. This is not some little, like side gig thing. It's like, yeah, let's make this as good as we can. I had
Yeah.
fun with it. I got
I'm
to
glad
play
you.
backstep from the Beast Planet.
Hey, and then they kicked then they kicked you off the role of Jetfire because you weren't Australian enough, and they recast you with Brian Drummond, who's not even Australian, but you're Australian, so I
Well,
don't
he was never
understand.
supposed to be Australian. Like I played him as, pretty standard, like my young, eager American kind of,
Yeah,
second in command guy. He's probably pretty
yeah,
blonde. So he was played and then yeah, all of a sudden for whatever the other version was. And again, it was like, different producers owned the different franchise or different
yeah.
versions of the franchise, different directors, and it was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So at one point when they did, I can't remember which of the three it was, they said, okay, well, this Jetfire character, how about he's Australian now? And so instead of saying, hey, Scott, is there any bloody chance that you could use your natural voice on this show for once in your bloody life? They got a non-Aussie to play it, which I thought was weird, but that is the nature of the beast, too. Right?
Yeah, yeah. When
It's
did you?
cartoons, kids.
Yeah,
Everybody can do it. And if you can do it and you sound right doing it, well, then there's not a problem.
I never knew you moved to Australia. You were, yeah, you're technically Australian, aren't you? That's me not doing my homework again. Yes, you're Australian. Well, I knew that, but obviously I
I'll
did
come from the
not
land
think
where
to know.
everything's a question.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And then you moved to how come what thing moved to Canada with you? How come your family moved from Australia to Canada?
My father's Aussie,
Oh, okay, cool.
and I was actually born here. And
Uh-huh.
then the whole family moved back to Australia when I was just a wee baby.
Ah, right,
And
okay.
then a number of years later, he got a opportunity as my father was a professional he was a land surveyor and professional engineer. There was a new learning institution here called British Columbia Tech Institute of Technology, BCIT. He was offered a position there as department head. So we packed everybody up and put us on a boat. We came on a ship called the Aranse and a
Ooh.
3 week cruise across the world. That was the most traveled I'd ever been in my life. Side note, my sister met
Mm.
her, well, now deceased ex-husband
Uh-huh.
on the boat when they were kids and then re-met many years later and ended up getting married. And that's where all my nieces and nephews come from. Weird, huh?
Wow.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so anyway, the whole family moved back here and we've been here ever since.
That's so cool. Did your nieces and nephews know that you were a voice actor then? I'm not sure how old they are exactly, but did they
Oh
grow up
yeah.
with Beast
No,
Wars? Did they grow up with you?
I've got like grandnieces and grandnephews. I'm now officially a grunkle.
Wow.
It's like I'm too young to be a grunkle. My nephew Rudy, Rujod Van Blankenstein, was a massive Beast Wars fan.
Oh wow.
Massive. And it was kind of concurrent with the fact that I happened to be his uncle that was on it. But I remember my other nephew Tyler going like, kids love beasties because they called it beasties up here. But Rudy's obsessed. So he was a mammoth fan of the show. And Rudy, so it's kind of weird. It's like, yeah, he knows that I was, but at the same time, there's sort of a weird disconnect. I remember I did get to go pick him up from school once because Rudy was getting bullied a bit. And especially
Ooh.
when because Beasties at the time was hugely popular.
Yeah.
And everybody of his generation in school was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he's like, yeah, seriously, man, it's my uncle. And it's like, yeah, you can think it's doing, you little geek, like, bullshit.
Yeah.
So he was getting good. So I picked him up from school one day and I come rolling up in the, top down convertible Corvette. He's waiting outside and I was like, yeah, whatever, you fucking loser. And I got to step out of that. It was a cool moment in my life. And, step out there and met some of the friends, did a few of the voices, and then went, hey, Roo, let's split, man. So we hopped into the Corvette and roared off. And I like to think he was never
Wow.
bullied again. And they were like,
Yeah.
that really was you. And it's like, yeah.
I was gonna say kids are so mean. I was bullied growing up, so obviously you get bullied for being different.
Yeah, I
Autistic.
got bullied all the time.
Yeah.
I
I
get
know the
bullied by
feeling.
myself for being different.
Kids are
That's when you got this many people living in your head. They're not all your friends.
Hey. Hey. Yeah, I was gonna say all the people live in my head too. I'm crazy.
It helps.
Yep. um, we were on about hurricanes before. It's another British deep cut, DinoBabies, which is done by, of course, Fred Wolf. You know Fred Wolf Films, who did like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I
They opened
was
a dub.
also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but the live action.
Oh yes, the live action. Yes, yes, yes. Well, they
I
opened
didn't
a
know that Dino Babies was a UK show.
yes. So the story is Fred Wolf Films. Glenn Murakami moved to Dublin, and he wanted to obviously set. I think they were going to set up a UK subsidiary. They set up base in Dublin. They produced two shows. First one was Budgie the Little Helicopter, which was for CITV, Children's ITV. The second one was DinoBabies for Children's BBC. And it aired on the BBC in the UK. Very popular here. There was a VHS release. I don't have it. The tape. There was books. There was books.
Pterodactyl.
And I think it aired on Fox Family in the States. I think maybe like YTV or
Really?
something in Canada, but it wasn't as popular over there as it was in the UK.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes,
I thought it was a good
indeed.
show.
Yes, to be honest, I didn't grow up watching it. It was before my time.
Yeah.
But obviously it was released on VHS tapes. There was a VHS release there. So
There I am.
yeah. Oh no, that's the purple cat. Who's the purple one? I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
The purple one is.
They all have the same face, okay? They all have the same face and the same weird,
Exactly.
silly, griffin-shaped heads.
Let's have a look. Dino, who's the pink? The pink. I'm colorblind. No, I'm not colorblind. Who's the purple one? It is. I believe it is Franklin, who is voiced by
Right.
Sarah Strange. Yes.
Now, Sarah
Yes.
Strange, Kathleen Barr, Kathy Westlock. Oh, God,
And
that was a long time ago.
Andrea Libman, Matt
Andrea
Hill,
Libman,
Sam Vincent.
who still sounds exactly like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm so glad. Yeah, Fred Wolf Films Dublin, which
Yeah,
I am.
Sandy, that was a long time ago for Sam, too. It
I
must have been
sw-
like its second or third show, second.
yeah. Well, I think Andrea Libman was only about.
I remember calling them groundlings.
Well, Andrea was only quite young as well. I think
I
she
know.
was. Yeah. Yeah. There's one of the examples of the BBC Young collection of DinoBabies books. You know, it's very very popular here. You know,
I'm the
I
one
am.
with the wings. Just saying.
Yes, the flying one. I see. Oh my god! To be that. Oh, hello. There is a DinoBaby cell on eBay. Oh, it's not a cell. It's an original piece of artwork. It's not one of your characters though. Sadly, if it was Dak, I would have bought it. I wonder if there was any Dak artwork thing. There is. Oh my goodness, there actually is.
And da-da-da. I look like I'm. Oh, okay. I thought I was facing the other way, going, "Hey, check this out." Geronimo Stilton was a UK thing too, wasn't it?
What was sorry?
Geronimo Stilton.
Geronimo Stilton. There's me looking that up because I'm absolutely sure. Geronimo.
I think that was based on a series of British kids books. And we did a series based on that.
Let's have a look. It was, I believe, it was Italian.
Oh, well, in that case, never mind.
It was Italian. Yeah, it was Italian.
Okay.
Did you ever work with the guy? Oh, of course you have, because you did the 2002 He-Man. Have you ever worked with Mike Young?
Yeah.
Welsh
probably.
guy. He made Super Ted. Yeah, him. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's him. Yeah. Let's have a look. Okay, two more topics. Here we go. I've got to bring this up. You're one of my favorite Wolverines. X-Men Evolution. Love it. Love it, me.
Don't make me get all Canadian on here. Yeah, I already did the bit
Ah!
about the Canadian Wolverine. Yeah, frickin' see buddy coming up over the hill there, right? Frickin' drop the claws right now. Yeah, fucking pound you right here, eh? Yeah, and
That
then we'll
was,
go for a frickin' rip there, bud.
it was such a good show. I mean, like, well, I met Cal Dodd, who obviously voiced Wolverine in like the
I
X-Men
met
animated
him
series. You met him
at San Diego
too.
Comic Con too.
Oh yeah, because he
Again,
was
I
that
stood there in line and I went, hi, this is really weird, but I want to introduce myself. My name's
dude,
Scott McNeil. I also
most of the time. Most of the time I spent was at Cal Dodd's table. I'm surprised I did not bump into you.
you might. Well, I look like this, so
I probably did. I don't know, but
yeah, I wasn't
uh,
there long because I was wandering around and I went, oh, that's one of the 5 seminal Wolverines
were
and the
you
original.
were you only there for the one day,
I
or were you
think
there the
so.
whole weekend? Ah, okay.
No, it was a weird like in and out thing.
Ah, right. Okay, I was there the whole weekend.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
that's a big con.
It
That's the
is.
only
It's
time I've ever
huge.
got lost at a convention. It was like
It's
because there was
so
no handler, and
overwhelming.
all of a sudden I'm standing in the middle of this. And since head injury, my bearings are not always completely there, and I was like, I have no idea where I am.
I don't know what happened.
And it's a
It's
huge
so
con, so
overwhelming.
it's not like people were going, "Oh my God, that's Scott McNeil. He looks lost. Let's help him out." And it's just like this guy walking around going, "I'm hungry. Is there any food? I'm supposed to be somewhere at 7." Huh, huh. But yeah, I met Kel Dodd. We shared
That's
Wolverine tales.
That's so cool. I love that. I love that. And that cast was stacked evolution. Of course, David Kate was Professor X. But I've got to
Yeah.
ask about Kirby Morrow, who voiced Cyclops. What was it like to work with him? Because obviously we
I
lost him
worked with Kirby a lot over the
only sort of
years.
2020. We lost him. Yeah. Yeah, it was only
Yeah.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a shock. Because Kirby and I were friends, right? We worked on a lot of stuff together
Yeah.
over many, many a year. Yeah, so I mean, Kirby was always delightful to work with because Kirby always brought this huge energy. Like even just before he passed, I'd been working with him on Ninjago.
Ninjago, yeah, I was gonna say. I
And
think
he was
last
just
time
like
we did.
so boom, positive and charged. And then, when this happened, it was just like, wow, there was a little darkness behind all those clouds.
Yeah,
But it was
definitely.
sad. And he was what, 49 years old.
Yeah, he was
Pretty
really,
young.
really young. Yeah. I think it was I can't remember what I think he didn't know. I think he had alcohol issues. I think that's from what
Yeah.
or mental health. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of
Yeah,
those.
well,
Yeah.
a bit of both. The two are not
Yeah.
mutually exclusive.
Yeah, yeah. Bless his heart. Oh, poor guy. Yeah. Yeah, so I was wondering what was it
Yeah,
like?
but Kirby was
Obviously,
always tons of fun to work with.
I'm
I
glad to
used to
hear
cite
that.
Kirby as an example all the time when I was teaching
Hmm.
and talking about the differences. There are some voice actors, especially of the more old school, who literally can do 10,000 different voices and you would never know it was the same person.
Yeah.
And that's why they worked a lot. And then I
Yeah.
went, or there's somebody like Kirby who also is very versatile, but tends to sound his own voice. He just sounds like kind of a heroic blonde. Boom. And he worked all the time because he was so good at just sort of sounding like Kirby. And I
Yeah.
went, so there's two different ways to approach this business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss Kirby. I miss running because we'd run into him all the
Bless.
time.
Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
He did seem like a great
Yeah,
guy.
no, Kirby was an astonishingly good guy.
I never got to
It's,
connect with him, but he does seem really lovely.
yeah,
So,
one of actually the very first anime convention I ever did
yeah.
was Anime Fest, I think. No, anyway, it was this was a while ago. I think it was in Texas. Acon. It's the oldest and the biggest anime convention. And Kirby and
Oh
I went down. No, it
wow.
was Chicago. And we'd never done an animation convention. And so Kirby and I are wandering around. And it was weird because they hadn't ever really brought guests in. You know, an anime
Yeah.
con in those days was for people to sell and buy stuff and trade stuff. And
Yeah.
so Kirby and I, you know, people were like, and so like, you know, who are you? What do you guys do? And then it was like, well, and it started, the word started to spread that it was like those, and so all of a sudden people started coming up and it was like, you know, go out, and then they set up autograph stuff. So we were kind of, I hesitate to say, but sort of instrumental in the, and of course now anime cons are all about standing in lines and autographs and all the other
Yeah.
crap that they are now.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the very first anime con I ever did. Me and
Aw.
Kirby, Chicago, my kind of
Aw.
town, Chicago is.
What a wonderful memory. I love that. Now, here we go. Right, the final topic. Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this? You ready? Just a bit of a deep cut.
Topic.
I always ask people about this guy because it seems that everyone I know has worked with him. And I mean everyone. It doesn't matter if you're Canadian or American or Australian.
Thank you.
Wally Burr. Wally Burr.
The man, the legend.
Yes. What, of course, you did G.I. Joe with him. But not a lot of people know is that apparently you and him got into a fight at TFCon, and Neil Ross was a witness to it.
That is available to be viewed at for your viewing pleasure on the YouTubes. Wally and I worked together for years. And Wally was old school. Wally had a very particular way that every line needed to be delivered, and he was very controlling of that. We did on Conan the Adventure, Conan. Like Wally used to thump the desk a lot with his finger, and his mic is on the desk, so you'd be like, "Oh, stop it!" But we would do 14 hours. Like a normal session for a pre-late show would be like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's booked for 4. You're usually done in 2. We were in the studio sometimes 14, 15 hours for one episode.
Yeah.
And he would line read and was particular, and he'd always get script revisions with his handwritten notes, and you get more of them coming in.
That sounds like Wally.
He was infuriating to work with, but he had so much passion and because he was from, like, you know, the Scooby-Doo era. He directed all of those.
He directed Hong Kong Phooey. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that was, and
he was
he
a
was, you know,
tank
when
from
he
World
was
War
a
II.
military dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wally had killed a few people. And
Don't
so
wanna
he brought a
fuck
bit
with
of that into his directorial style. He used to we'd challenge a lot. The only times once a pair of headphones accidentally fell off my head into the ceiling once after just going, I can't take this anymore. He brought several grown men to tears, but his care for the product was legendary.
Yeah.
There is still a term used in animation now called a crescendo. Because he liked to have the times he said, you know, the line has to come up like this. So everything had to come up in a crescendo. And he would line read you to death and stuff. But you know, so he and I remember one time he came up with a word. Oh God. It's my chance to show off too. A very obscure word. And I collect words and I like words. Oh, merkin.
Oh, okay.
So he jotted down in the margins of all of his handwritten notes on the endless rewrites of the scripts. It was like, oh yeah, McNeil, you know this one? And I'm like, oh, well, you Merkin, like you're talking about like the 13th century pubic wig? Yeah, anyway. But Wally was a frickin' force of nature and put so much passion and so much his drive into it. And then I started finding out more and more about him. Like his life history was amazing. I mean, he's literally like a war hero.
Yeah.
And had done all these things, you know, and we're like, we're just a bunch of weenie actors. And then when we were going to do that con in Toronto, he phoned me and he's like, you know, because he hadn't worked until he was like 90 something. Wally at the age of 94 could still drop and do 150 push-ups, and I've seen him do it.
Wow. That is
Like,
impressive.
yeah, he was amazing and so kind and so generous, with fans and stuff, because he was from an era where that stuff didn't exist.
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of on the edge of that era myself. So he got in touch with me and he's like, look, I'm I want to come out and do this show, but like, how does this work? What do I do? Blah, blah, blah. And then he had these ideas and he was like, and he was the one that said, let's do a fight. So,
Of
it
course,
started
always
off, and then he
exists.
comes out and here's my resume. We had like 500 pages of my resume. Anyway, you can watch the video. And then we had this big fake fight behind the stage, and it was super funny. And I'm also going, Wally could kick my ass so hard. And I got the chance there to know him more as the person that he is outside of being a director and a colossal pain in the ass
Yeah.
that everybody drove. And just realized what an amazing and wonderful man Wally was. And then it wasn't long after that he actually passed, and everybody was just like, what? How did that happen? There are some people that you just go, no, well, they're never going to die, ever.
Yeah.
And he was,
Oh.
like I said, well into his 90s and just insanely fit. And yeah, I ended up having a tremendous amount of respect for Wally, like a lot of respect. And just seeing him as the man that he actually was and how he interacted with people and how much passion and drive he put into the shows. Even if we were lazy, going, it's a freaking cartoon, let's just fucking do this thing and get out of here. Ugh. Yeah, but it was passionate and trying sessions.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
you like redoing the lines like grunts. He once made Phil Hayes just go, be like, no, 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 it's, and the feedback, and this went up for like Phil ended up in tears, and Phil is a big burly freaking dude. But so you spend 2 hours getting one grunt, but then you realize it's because he cared so much about what this was.
Yeah.
It was also because, he wasn't above casting himself and stuff that he was directing. Like 90% of the ends of Scooby-Doo's when you hear that, Professor Johnson, I would have made it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. That was Wally. He was always the one and I got to do that at the live action Scooby-Doo movie where I was.
Yes, you were in Scooby-Doo too.
Although I didn't get to do that line until the video game, but then I finally got to say it.
That's cool.
The main bad guy in that whole thing, and I wanted to bring absolute authenticity to that, and that was weird. And then I suddenly saw the thing, and like the last credit in the movie is Scott McNeil, evil masked figure. It's like, people don't have a clue.
That was actually something I forgot to bring up. Actually, you were talking about Dinobot, how it was like originally Starscream's voice, and then you sort of brought it down. You auditioned for the episode Possession. You auditioned for Starscream, right? And then Doug Parker got it.
Yeah.
I remember.
No, I don't think I actually auditioned for it. I think they just gave it to him.
Oh, right.
And he did an amazing job, but
yeah.
I gotta say, if you look up there's one thing where it compares voices, and the brief stint I did as Cobra Commander, even I went, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Like I sound like Chris Latta. And I think my Hermit Yelp sounds an awful lot like Paul Schultz's. So, but so anyway, I don't know. But because I've had several people go, well, you should have been Starscream, but
okay. Well,
yeah,
I was a Starscream.
I'm not complaining. I got plenty of generosity from that show. So
yeah.
That was the worst day ever coming in for season 2, and everybody's all excited. And we're just like, yeah, we're doing a second season, and boom, and Doug and Don come back, and just like, yeah, Don is the nicest. He's like Pauline Newstone without because he's, oh shoot, oh sorry, Sue, the nicest guy ever. And Doug's been instrumental in putting the show together and casting it. And the first freaking episode, so they just fall into the lava, and that's it. It's like,
they're dead.
Yep.
And then Quick Strike comes in. Yeah. So
that sucked. And it was a total broadside too.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, Scott, my final question to you
All right,
before we
final
wrap up
answer
this
to
one.
you will be
So, in that interview that you did for the DVD thing of Beast Wars, where you sat there and you had a massive, you had like a massive Megatron head and you had the tail. It was like a
yeah.
Megatron costume. Was that yours? Do you still have it?
No, I am
Oh.
not that weird.
I mean, you have
No,
spray
we
cheese
did
at
that
convention.
interview at Mainframe.
Oh, right, okay.
So, like, walking into Mainframe, it's kind of like when I got to walk into the Blizzard head offices in LA
Oh,
as
okay.
a
Oh, right, okay.
serious Blizz freak.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking around going, I'm just leaning on Frostmourne right now. Like, if anybody can see this, it's just like here,
Yeah.
anyway. Where was I going with that?
Big Megatron.
Brain disengaged, re-engaging brain in 3, 2, yes, sir. We were talking about going into cool places and stuff and things. Mainframe. So Mainframe is like that, right? It's just, every room is filled with cool Mainframe stuff and all the Beast Wars stuff and reboot stuff and Shadow Raiders and everything that Mainframe ever did.
Yeah.
Is all there and lots of toys. And yeah, so we were just doing the interview and there happened to be this Megatron suit. So as you may have noticed,
Okay.
I don't have the greatest attention span in the world.
I mean, I don't as well.
Little
So,
shiny boobies. What? I had a
I
fan
mean, I don't
actually
as well.
make me a painting of that because that was a bit that I used to use. Shiny squirrel boobies. And she was an astonishing artist and made me a painting, which I have somewhere, of what are very clearly boobies and are very clearly shiny and very clearly on a squirrel. Anyway, they happened to have this Megatron costume there. So while we were doing the interview, I just decided to pull the feet on, which were remarkably comfortable. Why I was holding the head, I don't know.
I don't know. But I love it. I love it, mate. I love it. As you said, you're crazy. I'm crazy as well. I don't have the greatest attention span. I mean, if I do a long form video on YouTube, it takes me like 6 weeks to do a long form video on YouTube, and that's just sitting there and editing it and condensing it down. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
How'd you like to be the editors on Disney's Aladdin? Same sort of thing. They just had we got 42 hours of Robin Williams going off. Now we have to turn this into a movie.
Release the Robin Williams cut.
Yeah.
And he's released the full cut. Apparently there was there's a cut of Mrs. Doubtfire that's 3 hours and it's just Robin Williams just being absurd.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it sounds so much like him. I love it, mate. It's so funny. Scott, you are literally one of a kind. You are one of the most amazing
several of a kind.
Ever. Yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone else.
I know,
Scott
because I have a doctor's note telling me that.
Yeah, thank you for letting me think out the spray cheese. I have literally gonna start.
I'm jealous because I don't have spray cheese. You can't get spray cheese in Canada.
You can't. I literally had to bring like 5 of these back in my suitcase. Incites violence. What?
And free thinking. But I used to have a lot of spray cheese. Somebody made me a spray cheese cake once.
Really?
And I'm talking about it was a cake, but it was a castle, and it was about 4 feet across and about 2.5 feet high, and it was all superstructured around cans of spray cheese. Tampa's a very weird place. That's where the spray cheese thing started. I have been gifted many spray cheeses, and I used to bring them home, but now I don't have any, and now I got a craving for spray cheese. Because every year the challenge was, what can we get Scott to put spray cheese on that'll actually be disgusting? And the answer is nothing. Spray cheese is good. Literally, I would try to go, okay, I'm going to put my spray cheese. It started off with my putting spray cheese on a Klondike bar because somebody had given me both. Yeah. And it was like, and they were like, oh no, he's going to eat it. And I did. And it was like, and then it became a thing every year. Right? Okay, what? Yeah. And it just, other than maybe no, you know what? Everything goes with spray cheese.
Yeah, 100%. I have it on everything now. I put it on my fries. I put it on sandwiches and stuff. And I have
you eat it the same way I do too, just straight from the can. It's like,
I had to bring 5 cans back for my last LA trip. It was
by the way, if you're ever in Florida where it's 112 degrees, which is freaking hot in Celsius.
Yeah.
And it's 200% humidity, and you decide to take a little shot of spray cheese.
Yep.
The atmospheric conditions will cause that shit to expand like foam insulation.
Yeah.
My head almost blew up.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
it's one spray cheese aficionado to another. That's just a helpful pro tip.
Hey, well, I mean, as I said, I do my homework because I saw you on that panel with that spray cheese can. I was like, I've got spray cheese in my cupboard. I'll bring it on my interview. I'm like, I'm gonna fit in. Just like I always have to get. It's just I can't get over this. It's like crack.
It is. It's evil. And there's like, and the holy grail of the spray cheese world in the States was they made a garlic one.
Oh,
And that was the one that even when I was given so much spray, one person was able to find it and went, there it is.
oh. Somewhat. I tried the
Spray
spicy
cheese of
version.
the gods.
There's a spicy version of this, like a natural, like a really spicy hot version. I tried it and it tasted like shit. I prefer this great value spray cheese.
Can't go wrong with the basics, bruh.
Love it. I need to try the easy cheese. To be fair. I don't. Yeah, that sounds so cool. Honestly, Scott, I have no idea what to say. I have had so much fun talking to you and just talking about just the most randomest things. It's like how I have conversations with the people. I just go off track, and that's the point of the show. You go off track. You talk about anything and everything, and I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
You are very, very, very welcome. I was looking forward to this. I watched the one you did with Colin, and I went, I bet this is going to be fun.
You're kidding. Oh, that's so kind of you. And we will, I promise you, someday we will do a part 2. We will do a part 2. Because there's so much more we got to talk about of your career. I mean, honestly, we
were this close in San Diego, man.
We have not scratched the surface.
All right.
To you at home, thank you so much for watching this episode of In Conversation with ATF. I have absolutely loved this episode. I'm just in awe of this man who I'm speaking to right now.
You know what's amazing? I have 1% left on my phone. This is timing out perfectly.
Oh my goodness. Right, okay.
So dim.
I was like, okay. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode.
I could have had it plugged in because I didn't have this microphone plugged in. Hey, let me know if you feel revitalized in new life. Ta-da! There you are. You're bright again.
There we go. Hey, to you at home, thank you so much for watching this episode of In Conversation with ATF with the lovely Scott McNeil. Fingers crossed we could do a part 2 in the future. I'm so excited. We have not scratched the surface of Scott's career, so there will be more to talk about. So stay tuned for that. And fingers crossed Scott can come over for TFNation. If not this year, maybe next. I don't know. Who knows? It's up to Billy to decide. Yes. I will
really would.
him. I will make him.
I miss the UK. I miss you a lot.
I will make him come over. I will make it happen. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. From me, it's goodbye, and also from Scott. Do you want to say goodbye, Scott?
For me, it's also goodbye.
Aye.
Good night from me, good night from her.
Aye.
To Ronnie's reference. That's old school.
Hey. I like you. I like you. We need to talk about British comedy next time for real. Okay, and cut. There we go.